welcome to the Master of Unlocking Television podcast.
I guess we never did come up with a name, did we?
Master of Tubing, Master of Binging, Master of...
The binging one is...
No, that's not good.
I had
DVRing, I kind
Master
of...
of...
maybe.
We just had, I had watching, and that just creeped everybody out.
That's the voyeuristic one.
Yeah.
Kind of like that
I kind of like it, too. Like,
Master of Idiot Boxing.
Idiot boxing. That's
that
not
doesn't-
bad.
Master of Stream Boxing. I don't know. I got nothing. I don't know.
Master of spoiling?
That's not bad.
That would work, yeah. Master of spoiling. Yeah, that's okay, since there will be spoilers moving forward.
TV spoiler cast
so
is kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah, so let's...
For some stuff.
For some stuff. So let's talk about what shows we're going to hit on and what's going to be... what's going to be spoiled, essentially. So, shows that we're going to talk about will be Better Call Saul, The Americans, Fargo, Gotham... What is there? Something else I'm missing?
You want to go? Do you have a list, Caleb?
I do have.
We're on the
more
spot.
Things.
Yeah, I have more things as well.
I wasn't prepared to announce my things.
I wasn't prepared either. But we are out on the outset. We talked about we're going to spoil Gotham for sure.
Gothem's going to be spoiled.
And breaking. There it is.
Breaking Saul.
Breaking Saul. Better Call Saul and Fargo. We are definitely going to spoil.
The other things we talk about, we're going to try to stay away from spoilers, but there might be some minor stuff.
Yeah. I would like to talk about some 2016 stuff.
Okay.
Just because it pertains to what's coming this year and later on.
Okay.
So we may spoil
like Preacher,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to avoid, are you thinking you're going to watch Preacher?
No.
So maybe because it might lead into the second season.
We'll try to announce it beforehand too.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So welcome to the Master of Spoiling podcast.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we'll
temporary title.
And we can even throw in maybe we'll throw in a timestamp of hey, we're gonna here's where we're talking about this show, here's where and then where we move on to the next one. So this way,
not a bad idea.
Yeah, so it's all right, here's the Better Call Saul section, and then if you don't want anything to know about that, then you can click on to the next section, which is Fargo or whatever.
If you'd like to suggest a name, put it in that comment box below.
Yeah, sure.
Ahead.
Let's put in a name.
Yep.
Put in a show you'd like us to watch. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
It might. I'm always looking for stuff. So put in the comments if there's anything we don't talk about. Why aren't they watching this?
Yeah, why aren't you watching Orphan Black? Which I feel like everybody should be watching that, even though I've never watched it, but everybody says.
Have you watched that?
I watched the first 2 episodes and kind of lost interest, but
I feel like that's one of those ones that people are like, yeah, you should watch Orphan Black. That one's real good. Or Bloodlines, Bloodline. Narcos, you should watch that. I don't have time to watch all these things.
Netflix guy or gal, if they like their Netflix shows,
and then there's the alt guy who's I watch Hulu, so I watch
very specific networks on Hulu.
James Franco show that's not good.
Or what's that one? The A Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, that apparently
that's
is great.
On my list, actually.
I don't know enough about it to say it's bad or good, but the Metacritic and the Rotten Tomatoes on it is
I need my 2-day shipping. I'm watching Only Man in the High Castle.
Yeah, that's true too. I watched some stuff that I wouldn't have watched otherwise.
Guys, I'm actually only watching Crackle at the moment. So
whoa, that's an odd. You hipster, television hipster.
Keep going. I think Sports Jeopardy is on Crackle.
Is it?
Yeah, Dan Patrick hosted.
You know what? It's buried. It's on my View. It's on my PlayStation View. That's my provider, PlayStation View. It's on my shows. It's on my so I DVR Sports Jeopardy on some network. It's on deep cable.
I think it's on NBC Sports Network at 1 a.m. I've woken up and been hey, this is. I know this guy.
It's the sports guy.
It's SDP.
So before we start talking about TV, we have one order of business we need to get to.
What? What could you be talking about, Caleb?
So I'm walking through the grocery store today.
Okay.
All right.
And I've been trying to eat healthier. For soda, I switched to sugar-free, caffeine-free soda, which is as hard as it sounds to find good variety for.
Wow.
So they have this deal going right now at the grocery store I went to. You get 3 12-packs for $9.99. It can be any brand, which is really awesome. Any brand? Yeah.
So
you can mix Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, and Coke.
Exactly.
We're not talking store brands. We're talking proper soda brands.
So I found 2 things I wanted and I'm like deep dive into all these varieties to find my third pack, and I saw something that I've never seen before, and it's neither sugar-free nor caffeine-free, but
I don't know if I can have this. This might interrupt my gluten-free, aspartame-free diet.
I had to get one just so we could try it out. So I'm gonna be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
So do you want to talk about Gotham first?
I don't know. Do we want to talk Gotham first, or are we? I'm fine with talking Gotham first.
I think we should.
Okay, since we're getting this random beverage
while we're talking about that.
So Gotham.
Gotham's great.
Gotham's great, and it went places this season.
I continue to be pleasantly surprised by what they do on a network, like a major
major 4 network. It's more violent than what you would expect it to be. A lot of harsh language for 7 p.m.
Yeah. Here it is. It's walking in.
What the hell is this?
I'm looking at it. It's a Pepsi brand. I see some Sunny Gradient on the side.
Do you really want us to open
Hold on. I don't. I'm looking at the logo. I haven't seen the name of it. I see. It looks like a Sonic the Hedgehog Pepsi logo, and it's an orange can. Oh, Pepsi Fire. Cinnamon flavored cola, Logan. Natural and artificial cinnamon flavor.
Is this like the cinnamon challenge gone like,
oh god.
Oh no.
We had to. I had to do it. We had to try this.
Do I have to drink this whole thing?
No, you don't.
Like, okay, like
you don't
should we just or should I just have a sip of Jason's here and
Nope, open it.
No, I'm drinking
because
mine.
I don't want to drink 12 of them. So
you've already had one?
I have not.
Hold on. Wait. 150 calories, which is pretty typical for a regular soda, right?
41 grams of sugar. Jesus Christ, no. That's a lot of sugar.
I was going to earlier be like, sounds like diabetes in a can, and sure enough, here it is. All right, gents.
Cheers
to television and
cinnamon.
Cinnamon Fire Pepsi.
It's not terrible. Oh, fuck. That... It tastes like I just swallowed Big Red gum. Fucking...
Man, you have no tolerance for cinnamon, I guess.
No.
Because I think this is really mild, I think.
I thought this was going to be okay. Boy, that aftertaste got me.
He's like... Hey, that's not bad. Oh, the aftertaste is the part that, there's some Big Red going on.
Maybe
there.
I didn't take a big enough drink.
I took a pretty significant drink.
I took a hearty swig.
Yeah, I think I took like 3 glucks.
I still don't get the bad aftertaste, like the terrible aftertaste.
Do you like cinnamon things?
I guess. I don't know. I'm indifferent on cinnamon.
So, nothing yet. As it hangs out, you don't...
Well, it's a little bit, but not to the extent of like...
My mom has a... Have you been around the Cinnamon Angel at the Link household during the holidays? Have you seen the Cinnamon Angel? It smells like cinnamon. It's wonderful, but if I was going to bite into the Cinnamon Angel... I imagine this. Sorry, I'm just having like a flashback.
Is it an actual angel, like shaped like an angel?
It's like a carved out brown angel.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little halo. It always hangs out on the top of the banister.
So it's a decoration.
It's a decoration.
It's not a food.
No. It's a decoration that smells nice.
Okay.
Holiday cinnamon angel? No. Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to think of...
It always hangs out at the top of the banister during Christmas time. Anyway,
well, guys, since we left,
how bad was that coming back up? Was it just?
Tastes a little weird. It's in my nose.
Since we haven't been at Mel's Taco Truck for a week, he's actually shut down. He's closed shop.
Oh God! So, was he selling Pepsi Fire?
We had to get a new sponsor. So Pepsi Fire,
brought to you by Caleb.
Yeah,
who in association with Pepsi Fire. I
don't want anything to do with Pepsi Fire. If they're a sponsor, I don't care. I'm willing to drop their sponsorship for.
Are you guys? Are you going back, Logan? You going back?
It smells like cinnamon.
It does. That's what I was just smelling.
Yeah.
I'll do one more. I'll do one more.
Okay.
See how this goes. I think I'm just gonna go to town and see how bad it is.
Just give it like a really good chug. There you go. Yeah, now you're gonna really evaluate it. You've done what you need to do.
Oh.
See, he's acting like I act when I take a shot of Fireball.
That's what it's like. It's like taking a shot of Fireball.
Not a shot of Fireball.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's... I don't like cinnamon.
Well, okay. That's all right.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan.
Maybe it's just because I haven't had like an actual sugar soda in a while. Like maybe the sugar is counteracting it a little. I don't know.
The sugar is strong with this one, but also I don't drink soda anymore. I don't even drink diet soda anymore. So this is like it tastes like cake, like cinnamon cake, but it's got a little bit of that fire. It's got a bite to it too. It's got like a because have you ever had cinnamon without sugar?
That's the cinnamon challenge.
That's the cinnamon challenge, right? But I mean, it's got some of that like texture to it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's
like
not
cinnamon sugar
fluid.
goes down smooth, but if you take like straight cinnamon, it's got that dry like.
We're all just gonna be burping the rest of it.
Gotham.
Is that what we were talking about?
We were talking about Gotham.
Okay, sell me on Gotham because I watched season 1 and it was okay.
Season 1 is just kind of a big setup. Season 2 is
the weakest season, in my opinion.
very much the weakest season. Season 2 is where it really picks up.
What are they in now?
4.
Okay.
4 just ended.
Just ended 4. Wow. That's
Is it
great.
4?
Maybe it's 3.
Maybe
I
it
think
is
it's
3.
Okay.
I'll just pull
I'm
up
pretty
my
sure
IMDb.
it's 3 because the seasons are really long and they do half seasons, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff where it's like, here's a section. So it's like, here's like 10 episodes. This is a storyline.
Okay.
So that's where they try to do a lot of that. Like Mad City was pretty long.
Which
like
is
this
about
season.
the Mad Hatter.
Gotcha.
And they do a really nice... Dude, there was one day I ran into your office and I was going to say, like, I need to tell you about this thing. I just saw Gotham.
It's 3. Yeah.
Season 3 just wrapped up. They figured out a way to make fringe characters really interesting, and you get to see them in their infancy. So, yeah, the show promotes it, and it is true. Like, the Riddler. Enigma works in the police station early on.
Right.
And Penguin.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 big ones. They introduced Freeze in season 2, Mr. Freeze, but he's been pretty...
He's
pretty
think,
peripheral.
I think a lot of what they're trying to do is they're trying to put like the really over and above characters on the periphery and anybody that's more believable in the main storyline.
That's fair.
I think that's the thing that they're trying to work on more than anything is like, because there's a lot of things in the Batman universe that are just crazy stuff, but they're trying to keep it a little more grounded.
Okay.
Because the story, the show focuses on Gordon. I mean, that's in all reality. He's the main character of the show.
Yep.
That's the point of it. But
those were the episodes that I liked best. Were the ones that really focused on him.
And they really that show becomes much, much stronger.
Gotcha.
But the villains get more fleshed out, and that's where things for me
season 2 was Rise of Villains, Rise of Heroes. Or
no, it was Rise of the Villains. Then Mad City was 3,
and then
I think there was something with like a cold section. I can't remember.
That was Freeze's part, right?
Right, yeah, and then
can't remember.
I can't remember what it was
that's
called.
what he talks about. Sections they always have like a subtitle, so it's like Gotham. Rise of Villains. So they introduced a Joker-esque character.
Oh, okay.
They introduced Zaz. They introduced...
Yeah, Zaz plays a big part, but he's a young Zaz, and he's just kind of an assassin for hire.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was in season 1.
Because he works for all the Falcones and what's the other... I forget the other one that was there. The mob boss family stuff kind of all got taken care of in the first season.
There's Fish Mooney's group in the beginning. You talk about
Fishes. But then there was there was Falcones, and then there was the Cuban dude from Dexter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I forgot. Maroney sounds right.
Maroney and Falcone. Yeah, I was saying it's Falcone, right. But it's Maroney and Falcone.
And Bologna.
That was obviously that big.
The pastrami section was a little.
That was really weird.
I'm gonna need a sandwich to wash this Pepsi down.
that was Calendar Man's group. That was like the really obscure villains. But yeah, this season, Firefly is in there.
The second season spends a decent amount of time at Indian Hill with Strange.
Hugo Strange.
Wow. Okay.
And Strange is played by
Another
B.D.
Dexter.
Wong.
Yeah.
And that's not the same guy.
B.D. Wong is the same guy in Dexter.
No, it's not.
Like the Cuban guy, yeah, that was the Maroney guy. B.D. Wong was the weird doctor.
Masuka?
Yeah, he was Masuka in Dexter.
He's not Masuka.
Yes, he is.
Go
He's
ahead.
Masuka.
Go ahead. He's not Masuka.
Oh my god.
He's
I can't believe you don't believe me on that.
you're wrong. Is why. It's the guy who's in Mr. Robot who plays B.D. Wong was also. Have you ever seen an episode of SVU?
Yeah.
Law and
Oh
Order
my
SVU?
god, he's not the same guy.
Yeah, I told you. He's not the. He's the psychologist from SVU.
Okay.
B.D. Wong, but he wasn't on it for very long, and then
They
he
look like
is
the
from
same
Mr.
guy.
Robot. They all look the same to Logan.
Who's playing Mr. Robot?
He is
White
the
Rose.
White. Yes, White Rose.
Okay. Yeah.
So
okay.
he plays a great Doctor Strange.
That's a different Doctor Strange too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hugo Strange.
yeah, he's
is not
Dr.
the Marvel because it's
No. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's a different Hugo Strange, who's also a doctor, which is weird.
Doctor.
Yeah, that's
Doctor.
It's a different It's a different Hugo Strange than we're used to seeing in other Batman stories.
Yeah, because he's. Do you think he's deranged right away?
He's deranged, but he's more deranged for financial reasons, kind of. Later on, I think he's more deranged for financial reasons.
Okay.
And just to get himself out of trouble.
Yeah.
Because of what happened. Like, he ends up kind of taking plea deals to get himself.
Did he create Croc, by the way? Does
the
Croc,
comics?
No. In Gotham, in the show.
Gotham?
I feel like Croc is one of those. So he creates basically a bunch of monsters, and then they get unleashed into the city, and just goes crazy. It's so good. It's
Okay.
crazy.
I'm gonna have to give it another shot.
Shit gets really crazy. And
The one thing that and I don't want to spoil it too much, but you can reference this when the Mad Hatter was introduced.
Yes.
And he makes Gordon. There's an episode where we were talking about it a little bit, like how Fox pushes the violence, they push the language, and it doesn't feel like it's on a major 4 network.
Okay.
And you forget that you're watching Fox.
It feels like it's on FX.
Yeah, that's a pretty good example. He puts Gordon in the position where the whole episode he has to go from terrible choice to terrible choice to terrible choice to terrible choice. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. And like
He
the
puts
final
these people in these awful positions, and Gordon has to, for example, well, I won't be specific, he has to save someone's life or save a child.
And it's
And
like
it goes bad
and it's
every time.
Yeah, and it's usually like save one of your cop friends' lives or let this kid die. And it's like he's on a payphone and he's watching this kid and like a giant truck coming at him, and he's got to like go save him. And if he doesn't save him, then like something bad is going to happen right around the corner. Like and like so yeah, I think he saved the kid, and then like these two, it was like a newlywed couple or something, and like they end up falling off of a bridge. And it was just like, and then later he puts his current girlfriend and his ex-girlfriend in a room together, and basically is just like, he's holding a gun to both of their heads, and it's like, which one do you want me to kill? And
the really great thing too about Gordon is and you know this from the first season, he's flawed and not quite an anti-hero, but he increasingly like tries to do the wrong thing, and he screws up constantly. But it makes for great television. He's always trying to do the right thing, but these psychos are smarter than he is. Like, Jim Gordon's a regular dude in this universe of like fantastical stuff.
superhuman type people. Yeah,
He's not Batman.
No, he's not Batman. I mean, Batman's human.
Yeah.
And that's the other part too. That's always made Batman more interesting. He's just a human with some really cool shit.
Right.
Like,
But he can do a little bit more than Gordon, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's better trained.
You
He's
even have
got
it one step back from that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on how they're handling Bruce right now? On how they ended it, how they kind of...
He's still on the show. That's disappointing.
It's the weakest part of
It
the
is
show.
the weakest part of
Besides
the
Jada
show.
Pinkett Smith.
Oh, boy, yeah.
She's terrible.
Fish Mooney is the worst part of that show.
She's terrible.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
Is she dead now permanently?
I don't know. Never.
Never dead.
Never dead.
That's the
Come
other
back
thing.
at
That's
any
the other
time.
thing. Nobody ever dies.
Yeah.
You think somebody gets shot?
Which is kind
They're
of a
not dead.
weakness of the show in a way, because the stakes are never really that high unless you're unless you're
A side character. But even at that, the
somebody gets resurrected and then they become a supervillain. You're like, oh wow.
So remember the oh god, what's his name? Penguin's right hand guy, the big brawly dude who got his hand cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember they said at the end they gave him a name, and I forgot what the name was. That they said they're like, oh, his name's not that.
What was that?
I looked up the name.
Who is
it's
it?
Solomon Grundy.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So yeah, he's gonna end up coming back as Solomon Grundy. Like, so these people are never actually going away. Like, they're never dying. The only thing I'm concerned about is the one girl who did die.
Oh yeah.
She's played a major part in that show. Barbara, yeah. She's played a major part in that show since season 1, and all of a sudden, like,
isn't that Gordon's daughter's name?
Yes, it is. Barbara Gordon is his daughter's name, and everything
Do you remember
else.
Barbara
Yeah,
from
so
season 1?
that's got to be the hook. There is that
It's so weird.
is that whenever he has a daughter, he's going to name it after her.
But the thing is they're at odds.
They've always been.
They're
at
not
odds.
together.
And they've never really even it's never even
it's
been like
weird
because it's always been him and
Lee.
Yeah, it's always been Which,
Is Leah? Do you know Lee Tompkins?
yeah.
She
Lee
does show
Tompkins,
up in season 1. Okay.
Yeah, she shows up at the very end of season 1, right? I think she was like
5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah, she like comes in as a new Emmy and everything else there, but yeah, that show, yeah, like it's with all the stuff we saw Ra's al Ghul for like 30 seconds.
Dang,
It's
you guys
going
are just
places.
listing names, and I'm like, okay,
This first season is I know I said it earlier. It's by far the weakest, and where it has gone now is super impressive.
Yeah,
That show has had room to fall over itself and fail, and it hasn't.
Like, do you even think like they're like 1 week you may have a bad episode or whatever, but it's never that bad. It's always just like that was like
They always hit the mark.
like if you're ranking
you get enough out of it.
yeah, if you're rating each episode out of a 10, like I don't think any of them ever go lower than like a 6.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
it's a solid show.
The one thing about it I'll ask you, and then I think we should probably move on.
Yeah, we should. We talked too much about it.
Do you think he can binge it? Because I think an advantage to us is that we have breaks. And we don't see the ebbs and flows the way that he might through a 22 episode season.
yeah, binging 22 episodes is tough.
Yeah, I think that is a weak part of that show in general, is that it is a 22 episode season. I would watch it. I would watch it in part of the arcs, like watch it as part of the story arcs that they've set up, and they didn't start doing that until season 2. So you could start doing that as part of season 2.
Rise of Villains is the first
and
one,
I think
right?
I think they do it in season 2. It's more of like it's a half of the season. It's your first 11 episodes is that way.
Dude, that Joker introduction.
The Joker
fire.
stuff's real good.
It's great. It's great.
And then so I think you can do like half and half, and then 3. I don't know how much of it you'll be able to get real easily. You can find it. You find everything. But Mad City's long. Like it's not the traditional 11 and 11. Okay. I want to say it's more like 17 and 6.
Got it. Okay.
Michael Chiklis is in it too.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, Michael Chiklis shows up in it, and then he is
one of my favorite actors, as you know.
His character is the campiest character in the entire show, is what I will say.
He goes for it.
And boy, what happens to Poison Ivy is real weird, but I like where it went, and we'll leave it at that.
And so do I.
Well,
it's great, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Let us know if you watch it. Okay. Maybe we can reconvene and have maybe a dedicated Gotham thing. Because if you get into it as much as we do, we can maybe generate some content.
Yeah, there's so much stuff on Gotham.
It is on the list. It is on a long list.
I know. Long list.
Okay, well, time for me to shut up for a little bit. And where do you guys want to go next? You want to go Better Call Saul, Fargo?
Well, hang on. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Right? You watched both finales of Fargo and
I
Better Call
have
Saul.
watched both of them.
Which one of them left you more staring at the screen in disbelief at the end of the episode? Because that's the one we'll talk about.
You want to talk about that one first?
Whichever one did that to you. It happened to me on both of them, so I'm leaving this up to you.
Fargo
is the monologue, or I guess it'd be dialogue, that Varga? Is that,
Varga.
Yeah, Varga has at the end of
Do you know what VA stands for?
I don't think they ever say a VM, right?
I think it's V, or maybe a VM or VM Varga. I think you're right.
They ever say, because every time he's like, no one knows what the VM stands for. No one knows what it stands for.
Yeah.
But man, and then they do. I never
Virgil
watched,
and Varga,
right,
are talking at the end. She's finally got him.
She thinks she's got him,
and then the light.
Yeah.
So what is that?
So I think they did a Sopranos there.
Oh, dude, they totally did. No, they totally did. Which is the first thing I said.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to ever choose my own adventure. Ever. You fuckers. Never.
So
never.
Because so Fargo is like it's a mini series almost, right?
It's an anthology.
So like season 1 is its own story, season 2 is its own story. So it just ended at season 2, like with that story arc.
Season 3.
Oh, season 3.
This was season 3. Yeah.
And they just left it.
Every other character except for this one has a good resolution. But this one character, who is kind of the main
Allow
villain,
us to pitch Fargo to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fargo is fucking high bar TV. The highest of bars. It's great. It's, for whatever reason, you know that at the beginning of each season, you're going to get 10 episodes flat. It's going to be set in regional North Dakota, Minnesota.
It's usually in Minnesota, even though Fargo is
right.
Whatever.
So
sure.
You know that you're going to be introduced to people from generally a rural area, and they're all going to get involved in trouble. Always a small town feel. They're going to get involved in trouble, and everyone is going to die.
Okay.
Everyone.
There's going to be, at the beginning of the season, one character is going to try to do some small-time crime and think they're going to get away with it. And then throughout the entire 10 episode run, it escalates a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and people start dying and everyone starts dying.
So nobody, no actors end up coming back to repeat.
There was a piece of fan service in the 3rd season where a bit character from season 1 showed up in a very important spot. I don't even care.
There was also season 2. The dad, right?
He's the character from the first season, right? He's the diner opener.
So we should say characters, but so it's not like American Horror Story what they do.
It is similar,
but because American Horror Story takes here's this, and we bring back the same 5 actors, but it's. It's not the same actors. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, so it's not you're not getting Billy Bob Thornton and Colin Hanks.
ABC's American Crime does that. It's the same actors, but it's a different story every time.
Okay.
So no, it's always different actors. So Billy Bob Thornton, who's great in the first season, obviously is a good actor. And then who's the biggest name from the 2nd season? It's probably. I can't remember.
Is it Reese Witherspoon, or is it the one that I always get confused with?
No, it's not. It's
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, I always get those two confused.
All right, I'll pull.
She's probably the biggest name.
So the way the 3rd season ends is not. It's not satisfying for me.
Really,
I have a huge problem with that. Okay. I don't enjoy that at all. I think you should have told me whether Tony lives or dies in the diner, and I need to know whether or not Varga is caught or if he truly is supernatural. If he is the devil and he leaves that room, I need you to own up to that, Fargo, because you put a fucking spaceship in the 2nd season.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can go ahead and just let him be the devil, if that's what he is. Because they do play that trope between the gentleman who's in Twin Peaks, and I don't know the actor's name.
I don't know his name.
But he's an angelic figure, and Varga is a vile, very much like a demonistic figure.
Yeah.
With that fucking suit they put him in, and just his bulimic teeth. And, oh, he's so vile. He's gross. One thing you said to me that I thought was interesting when we were watching it is he is clearly the bad guy. I will say that Emmett's not great either. Emmett's got blood on his hands.
Yeah, at the beginning of the
3rd season, Logan, just to explain to you, there's 2 Stussy twins. They're both played by Ewan McGregor. One is
I was trying to figure out, I'm going through here, I'm like, why does Ewan McGregor have 8 names in
One's a millionaire. One's a millionaire. And the other one is, what is his job? Parole officer?
He's a parole officer, yep.
And so he hires one of his parolees. Is that a parolee?
Parolee. Yes. Yeah.
So this druggie, he says, I need you to go rob my brother.
So he's either Emmett or Ray.
So
both,
Ray hires a druggie to go to Emmett's mansion and steal a stamp that was passed down from their father. Ray thinks it should have been his. Emmett thinks it should have been his. Emmett currently has it. He pays this guy to go rob the stamp because it's worth a lot of money. And things go horribly wrong.
He murders the wrong person.
Oh, good.
And so that person
also happens to be the stepdad of a cop.
And who's the main character, Gloria Burkle.
Right.
And so the patriarch of her family has been murdered, so that causes her to really want to solve this murder, and is dealing with incompetent cops who won't. That's the other thing about Fargo, too. There's always a cop that knows exactly what's going on, and they're surrounded by incompetence.
Right.
So I don't like the way that season ends. I do like the way that they killed Emmett's character. Mm-hmm. I thought that was awesome. I didn't understand when she's supposed to repeat that saying that the guy from the bowling alley gives her.
Oh, right.
He said the target would understand.
Yeah.
So I thought I thought she was supposed to say that to Varga.
I honestly didn't even think about that. I totally forgot about all of that.
How about the fucking when they're going into the setup, which is just brilliant. The elevator setup where everybody gets murdered besides Varga. Varga's slimy ass. He watches his number one guy get murdered as the door closes. The shot where they're all walking towards, and it's like a crane that's moving along. You know what I'm talking about? And everything. Dude. That show's great.
That's only that's one of the best moments in the whole show, in all 3 seasons of that show. And
I think so too.
The only flat out moment that I can think of that tops it is in season 1 when Billy Bob Thornton is going through FBI headquarters or whatever it is. And it shows it from the outside as he's killing every single person in the whole...
Logan, another great part about season 1 is Key and Peele play FBI. It's FBI, I think. FBI detectives that screw something up so badly they get put in the basement to file paperwork. Mm-hmm. And they're just so incompetent and so bad at their job, and it's hilarious.
Was it 2 or 3?
This is the first season.
First season, okay.
Yeah, the first season. The first season is really strong, and they're all good.
I would say season 3 is probably the weakest of the 3, but that's that's still
pick your favorite kid.
Yeah.
I think that 3 is better than 2, in my opinion, because it's very Fargo, it's true to what Fargo originally was.
Yeah.
And I think that I think it knows what it is, and I think there's some really great moments, and we're primarily talking about the 3rd season where the bus flips over.
Yeah.
And that episode ends where they're trying to saw her out. I think that's incredible, and then it immediately follows up with maybe the most violent 20 minutes of TV I've ever seen.
It's pretty great.
It is brutal. And what I mean by that, it's not like Game of Thrones, over the top, fantastic violence. I mean, raw ass, you feel like you're watching this because it's just a few people and there's no Kill Bill blood spray. It is people suffer for 20 minutes in this terrible conflict. They fucking suffer and die. And it is hard to watch. Because it's so believable. It's not chop this, chop that, chop this to a funny soundtrack. It's I'm in pain, I'm suffering, I'm dying slowly, I'm fighting you, now you're in a lot of pain, and you're suffering, and now I'm suffering worse, and I lost a limb, and you lost a limb, and it's awful.
That's kind of a theme about this show that I love so much, is that you really do feel as opposed to you brought up Game of Thrones. When I watch an episode of Game of Thrones, I feel like I am me sitting on the couch watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But when I watch
You're
Fargo,
very aware.
Yeah. But when I watch Fargo, I feel like I am a resident of central Minnesota who is involved with this, and I'm following these people that I know.
They figure out a way to make you care about the characters.
Yeah.
Especially for the people that don't deserve it.
Yep.
The innocent bystanders in all 3 seasons.
There's very few innocent people.
There are a few
Everyone
though.
has pretty much everyone in that of the main characters. Everyone has their role and why they're a terrible person.
When I'm thinking of like the innocent Stussies from season 3.
Oh, you mean like very peripheral?
I mean very peripheral,
Okay, right.
but those are really like tough. Or like the Native American hitman from season 2, Hansi.
Yeah,
I mean
he might be my favorite character.
There were
seasons.
people, innocent people, that saw the wrong thing, and he just eliminates them. Yeah. There's some very brutal, like Billy Bob Thornton, same thing in season 1. If somebody saw what they weren't supposed to see, like it's just a short 20 seconds of the show, but like they eliminate those people, and you feel bad because that should be you, Caleb. You were there watching.
Yeah.
You were there. You should have died.
So let's move on to the other amazing season finale that was this week, and this one was.
So were you more affected by this one or Fargo?
I think probably Better Call Saul.
Really?
I think I was at the end of that. I was because we're going to spoil the ending of season 3 of Better Call Saul. Like, if you care about that show at all, stop listening right now.
Cut.
Chuck dying. Or Chuck presumably dying is brutal. That's probably the best 2-character interaction in a TV show between Jimmy and Chuck.
Those scenes are crazy.
It's probably the best. Just if you take 2 people from a show, probably the best 2 you could of any show out there. I can't think of any other character interaction between 2 people that's more engaging than that.
Did you know who I think the only time I've ever felt similarly is Walter and Skyler?
Yeah, okay.
That's how high it is, though.
Right.
That's how high bar it is.
And that's only praise.
No, it is. Yeah, from Breaking Bad, when Walter and Skyler, especially near the end of those scenes where they're working together, but they're also in conflict, similar to Jimmy. And holy shit, is that what Vince is doing?
Yeah,
that just blew my mind.
There's a lot of parallels between Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, but just you like. Even in the middle of that episode, you think, okay, Chuck might be finally coming around. And Chuck has been the most polarizing character in TV for a while. There'll be an episode where you're like, dude, this guy's a scumbag.
Yeah.
I hate this guy.
I hate Chuck.
And then there's other episodes where you're like, man, I really feel bad for him.
Chuck is lost.
He really does have a problem.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
And even in that episode alone, you change your mind like 4 times.
Yeah.
But then when Jimmy goes to visit him and he says, Jimmy, I never really cared all that much about you. I think that's the final straw where even if he would have been in season 4, I think it's over for him. Like, no one's going to have any remorse for him whatsoever, right? There's no coming back from that line. So for them to just for them to just say, okay, that's the end of Chuck. That's irredeemable. He's done now.
Okay. So I disagree.
Okay.
I think Chuck is back. And I think he's not going to be dead.
I don't see how. Like, sure, okay, I guess TV, whatever.
Yeah.
But the way that house goes up in flames, there's no way.
I think Chuck is too important to that show, and I think he will be saved.
Okay.
I think it's the perfect TV engagement. Like, the fact that we didn't see him confirmed dead means that
true. That's very true.
Means to me that he is alive.
But on the same side, we're in a unique position with Better Call Saul because we know everything in this show leads up to Breaking Bad. So we know that Jimmy's got to become Saul at some point, right? Mm-hmm. And we know that Saul does not have any affiliation with Kim, and he does not have any affiliation with his brother. So at some point we got to get there. This could just be step 1 of Jimmy to Saul transition here.
You think so? When he becomes Saul, he just fall. You think he falls apart into Saul?
Yeah.
because I've always wondered how that relates to Kim, but I never thought it would come at the death of Chuck.
For even though Chuck was a scumbag and didn't really like
Chuck could
Jimmy,
exist in Breaking Bad's world.
Yeah, I guess he could technically. But my thing is, Chuck, even being a scumbag and telling Jimmy repeatedly that he's worth shit,
nothing,
and,
right?
just
continuing to talk down to him.
Even though he is that, on the same side of that, he also is a little bit of Jimmy's conscience. He does.
Oh, that's fair.
Jimmy,
without that around,
right? So he always does kind of try to talk Jimmy into doing. It might not be necessarily quote unquote the right thing, but the ethical thing. I mean, morals aside, ethical
thing.
I think he plays that side of Jimmy's character, and without him around, I can see a transition into Saul, because Saul he's dirty, right?
Yeah, and knowingly so,
right?
Saul, yeah, I'm not quite convinced that necessarily is what we're seeing, but you connected all the dots and it would make sense. I just, knowing that they've left doubt, I can't imagine that show without Chuck, unless let's give Nacho, Gus, and Mike their due, because that has been really compelling. It's great fan service to Breaking Bad for the most part. You see how this is all developed. It looks like that's how when he sabotages Hector's pills. Mm-hmm. It looks like that's how Hector winds up in a chair and disabled and I guess can't speak, like a stroke maybe or something like that. So do we think we just get a ton more Mike and a ton more Gus?
Maybe. Mike was kind of MIA at the end of that season. So maybe there is more to tell. I don't know where Mike's story goes because he's kind of wrapped up right now.
Well, he just partnered with Gus, so they give the handshake. Yeah. So
but he's, you know what I mean. He's got plenty of money. He's
what are his motivations?
Yeah,
especially with Hector out of the way.
Right.
Right. So maybe that means a lot more screen time for Kim, for Gus, and maybe they feel like they've developed these characters independently enough that they could do it. But we'll see.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Nacho is not in Breaking Bad.
No.
Correct. Okay.
Not Nacho's is independent to Better Call Saul, so we'll see Nacho meet his demise.
We gotta see a resolution of some kind on Nacho, right? So
it'll be his demise. It has to be.
Yeah, it probably will be.
And I would assume then that will there's room to introduce Tuco as part of that. Yeah. So Tuco may take care of Nacho, something along those lines. Yeah. The kid that plays Nacho, and I don't know his name, is great.
Yeah,
he's great.
Every actor in that show is great. Yeah, there's not a bad one there.
Well, so whether or not Chuck dies is really what we disagree
on. I take that back. It's a small character, but the female lawyer that partnered with Jimmy took over the Sandpiper case from Jimmy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That is a bad actress.
You think so? Yeah. You think so? How brutal is that when he gets Rose's friends to like him or to like her again?
Yeah. And you can see it on his face. He's like, I know what I got to do. I don't want to do it.
I knew too. You knew too, right? He's like, oh, well, he has to rat himself out. Yep. Yeah. What do you think's going on with Kim? Is she broken? She's broken.
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. No. She's in a weird space. Like when she goes to Blockbuster, I'm like, what's going on with Kim? Kim's lost her mind.
But at the same time, I'm like, hell yeah, go Kim. Like, this is what you need right now.
And they have money right now.
No.
I mean, but they settled.
No, he gave it back.
Oh, remember? That's right.
Yeah, he had to give it back so that Rose's friends would.
So Kim can't stay Kim for very long,
right? Because they had to sell the.
Kim has to work.
Yep.
Like she's got to work.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So those were the big things that you and I watched that we wanted to talk about.
Everything else will be a little more rapid fire.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break then.
Sure.
And we'll come back and wrap up with some random stuff. All right, and we're back from the break, and we're going to head into some rapid-fire TV talk here. Jason's got a list he's going to go through.
Here are the things that I watched that I made note of, and quick thumbs up or thumbs down or maybe a medium on it. Mm-hmm. The Young Pope, HBO's The Young Pope. hard pass.
Yeah.
It's odd.
You tried it.
I tried it.
Okay.
It's odd. It's not for me. It's apparently for somebody.
It didn't intrigue me.
It didn't.
Is anybody?
Have you watched it?
No. Is anybody watching it though?
I don't know how well it's doing.
I don't know.
Does HBO report numbers?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I mean,
Because they're
I
different.
doubt it.
They're
Yeah.
and they're.
Subscription doesn't have.
There's
to
no
really,
reason for them
And
to.
I would say probably half their viewers come from people who aren't subscribed to HBO. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, in Game of Thrones case, it's probably like 90%.
Dude,
Yeah.
seriously. Let me just spend a little bit of time here because I think one of the best shows on television is The Americans. And I really, really, really enjoy where they're going. They're going into the final season. And it just continues to swell. It's got this Breaking Bad thing going on where the FBI agent lives next door to them and they're friends with him. And there has to be some sort of discovery there, right?
there's got to be a big blow off,
Right. Something that has to happen there. And this season, Logan, you've watched 3 seasons?
I watched 3 seasons, and it's just been, and I've kept trying to watch it. The problem is like, by the time I get the kids to bed and everything else now, it's like I turn that show on, and because of the pace of that show,
Sure.
I fall asleep.
No, I don't. I totally understand.
And it's
that.
a good show.
The show is like a great stage theater play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of intrigue. But if you're tired, you could, while they're deciding what to do about the poisoned food supply or the biological weapon or the intel on this really important person from the CIA or FBI or wherever, that could. Oh my God! I fell asleep. I can't believe I fell asleep, but I fell asleep.
It's like you turn that on at 9-10 o'clock at night, and you're laying in bed watching it. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
So what I love about the show, and I think why people love it so much, is that I think it's theatrical. It's like sitting in a theater. You can tell the characters are conflicted about their work on both sides. The Americans, as in the Americans, not the spies. You can tell that they don't feel necessarily good about the things that they have to do. And Philip and Elizabeth, the 2 spies, continue to be more and more aware of the current events in the world. And what's great is they take historical events and they make Philip and Elizabeth the reason why things happened. And it's genius. It's genius.
The Assassin's Creed it.
Yeah, they do. Yes. Yeah, they do, because they can play off of history that way. And Philip, and this isn't really much of a spoiler, is more conflicted than Elizabeth. Elizabeth is like tried and true Russian to the fullest. And Philip he remembers a lot about his childhood. He remembers the terrible conditions in Russia and why they do the work they do, but he doesn't like...
Well, he doesn't want the rest of his children getting involved either.
That... Yes, he doesn't like killing people, which they have to do from time to time, and he doesn't like the slimy work that they do. Like he has to recruit like a 14-year-old girl, and he has to romance her. This show, like they put them in terrible positions, and it's kind of like we were talking about with Fargo. Like you're like locked in a room, and you just gotta watch. You're just like, oh no, that's awful, but it's super compelling.
Okay.
Yeah. It's super compelling.
They broke a guy's bones in multiple places.
That episode, the suitcase episode.
In a suitcase.
Yeah, this guy they had to kill him. Was he basically like innocent or no? Did he just stumble into that?
He was just kind of a rotten banker guy.
Okay.
Like, he wasn't really he hadn't really done anything that bad. He was just kind of a little skeezy, but nothing that he should have been killed over. And he just kind of was in the wrong place at the wrong time, heard the wrong story. And they just had to kill him in a hotel room, and the only way to get him out was to kind of just fold him into a suitcase.
They snap all of his bones, and they make you watch it. You're like, it sounds like celery. Like it's brutal. But it's very, very good. I would say that it is not Fargo, but I think it's better than Better Call Saul.
Wow. Okay.
Good show.
It's
really
really
I think you and I have Better Call Saul and Fargo
flipped. Wow, really? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. I respect that because I can't say much bad about it. Okay. Speaking of FX, let's talk about FX. I tried 2 episodes of Taboo,
Okay.
Tom Hardy show. Hard pass. It's bone dry, and there's some incest going on, and some like.
Well, that's taboo.
He came back from the dead somehow because of incest, and it's bizarre, and maybe I'm just not getting it. It could not be for me, but I would recommend passing. I watched Big Little Lies on HBO.
I watched the first episode of that, and I thought it was really slow.
It is slow.
Okay, does it get
slow on purpose?
More intriguing?
Not really.
Okay, then I
couldn't stop watching. It's a soap.
Okay,
it's kind of like it's not their shot at The Affair. Showtime's successful show, The Affair, but it's targeting that consumer.
Okay, I didn't. And maybe you're not supposed to, but I didn't identify with any of the characters. I didn't.
I mean, you're not an angry housewife,
right?
And you're not.
And
I'm pretty sure you haven't been sexually assaulted.
And that's not a. that's not a direct that doesn't have to happen for me to be into a TV show, but I at least have to be intrigued by one of the characters.
Okay.
And they just all seemed like.
They're terrible people.
They're just terrible people, and I don't like them, and why am I watching them?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because it's HBO, and they get to do stuff like that. And sometimes I enjoy watching them experiment on things that wouldn't be commercially successful. And that's, I think, one of those things. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
That being said, Nicole Kidman sounds like it is the front runner for an Emmy for performance.
Yeah. I mean, she's very good. Like, surprisingly good. It was like when, it reminds me of when Matthew McConaughey showed everyone he could act on the first season of True Detective.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. You're like, oh my God, you're an actress.
Yeah, but Nicole Kidman's actually been nominated for an Oscar a couple times.
Has she?
Yeah.
And what?
I believe, I'll just, there was a one that she did, it was about, where she was like a creepy newscaster that I think she got nominated for.
Just this last year, she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Lion.
Oh, I didn't know she was in Lion.
Oh, she actually has won an
Academy Award.
So Oscar nominee. She was Best Supporting Actress for Lion. She was nominated for a movie called Rabbit Hole. She did win Best Actress for a leading role in a movie called The Hours in 2003. She was nominated for Best Actress in Moulin Rouge.
I forgot about Moulin Rouge.
Let's see, what else has she been nominated? Those were Academy Awards. Golden Globe, she's got a good amount here too. Like Cold Mountain was another one. Like those Oscar bait movies. Oh, she won the Golden Globe for To Die For, which is the movie I was trying to remember.
Oh, that's like late 90s,
yeah, it
right?
was her and Matt Dillon. Yeah, Matt Dillon. Yeah,
a young Matt Dillon, right?
Young Matt Dillon. Yeah, and well, actually, it was more of a young. I always never say it.
Do I have the wrong?
Joaquin.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix is the younger character.
He's the younger character, yeah. She was married to Matt Dillon, and then Joaquin was the guy that she was
takes advantage of.
Kid she was seducing and everything else.
I remember that movie.
She was
super hot.
She was, there was something about her, like, in that time frame. She was hot, like, at that point in her career.
Hot enough for Tom Cruise, right? But weren't they together?
Yeah, they were.
Which is funny because she's like, 6 or 8 inches taller than him. But anyway.
Yeah, I know. Anyway. Yeah, that's true.
I never thought about that.
He's very short.
Back to FX real quick, and I don't know if this seeped into 2017, so forgive me because I know we're trying to stay kind of current.
Yeah.
When did Atlanta finish up?
Ooh, I don't know.
Did you finish Atlanta?
I did finish Atlanta. Atlanta was really fucking good.
It's great.
Yeah, Atlanta was.
That's
real
one
good.
of them.
That's
you watched it.
I guess but I think it ended in the winter.
Was it in 2016?
I think it was like fall 2016, and I think it did like a 10 episode run.
I think it was because I remember watching. The first episode was in August, so if you do 10 weeks from there, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was just like a 10 episode run.
Okay.
Can I throw one more FX one in there?
Sure.
Did you guys watch it? Legion.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
Okay.
Yeah.
That show was boring as shit.
Really? You're the only person I've heard that said it's bad.
That was an American style show for me. There was like 2 things that were like, oh, hey, like there's something going on here. And then it's like, all right, another 45 minutes of dialogue that's really not that intriguing. It was like, here everybody's in like a psych ward, but I don't know. I need for me an X-Men style show needs to kind of pick it up a little bit to get me intrigued to start with.
Sure.
And there wasn't much to intrigue me there. So that was what I...
Part of me wonders about budget with that kind of thing.
You've got the new X-Men show that's coming out this fall. That's...
What is that?
Oh, shit. You had to ask me what it's called.
It's... I already forgot what it's called.
So here's how I have to go through with this because I can't remember the character's name or the actor's name. Stephen Moyer. There we go. I had to go to True Blood first. But
I was gonna say from True Blood.
It is called...
That show's trash. You should watch it.
I watched most of the first season and it was too trash.
It was so bad.
I don't know what it is.
What the fuck? I thought he was like the main character in this show. Why is it not showing up here?
Well, Logan works on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to mention, I guess that's 2016 too. The most recent season of Black Mirror wasn't this year, was it?
No, that was last year.
Was it last year? I'm not as in love with that show as some people are.
I'm in love with that show.
Are you?
Well, some episodes I'm in love
right.
with. Right.
Yeah. And that's it, like it's strength and weakness. Yeah. I think there are some episodes that I have easily forgotten and there are some that like haunt me.
Did you watch all of season 3?
I think so.
Okay. The last episode, the one that's like an hour and 45 minutes long.
Oh, maybe I didn't finish season 3.
It's about
is there a major actor in it?
The main actress has been in stuff, but she's not big.
Okay.
It's about I don't want to spoil it. So it's about a government official that's put in charge of investigating a series of murders. They're like closed room murders. So they have no idea how these people are getting murdered, but they are. And she has to, and just every step of the way it's got social media involved. Mm-hmm. It's got like robotic drones involved. It's got all this stuff involved that you could easily see actually happening, and it's actually pretty scary.
That's what's really jarring about the first episode of the show because it is in the current day. There's nothing that's so tech crazy about it. In fact, there's really nothing. It's just social media that powers it. That's what's so disturbing about the first episode. And then they kind of go a little crazy later on with the future tech stuff.
But the last episode of season 3, it's called Hated in the Nation.
I haven't seen it. I think I only watched... I must have only finished season 2. It was the John Hamm episode.
Okay. I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was like, what... If I were to list just my favorite individual TV episodes, like that would definitely be on the list.
It's hard with a show like that. Do you know the premise for Black Mirror, Logan?
No.
It's like... the easiest way to explain it is the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a modern day Twilight Zone. It's always very disturbing, and it's always based like in technology.
So it's like all single episode story arcs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
John Hamm's in a really good one. Like he stars in one and kind of gets to spread his wings a little bit and do something really wacky and different.
The best episodes of that show are the ones where you could be like, "Holy crap, that could actually happen." Like this could be happening right now.
I would suggest if you get some time, only watch the first episode.
Yeah,
because it is.
I don't know if I recommend the first episode.
You wouldn't,
because it's so different from the rest of the series.
That's what I might even like. You can pull up like an episode guide and just be like, all right, what are the highest rated episodes? And just be like,
I will say no. I don't know if I do that either because there's a very specific reason. The number 1 rated episode for that show is probably going to be San Junipero. Did you watch that one?
I don't know. You'd have to tell me.
It's the one where there's the 2 women that meet in virtual reality and they fall in love.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
That one's going to be probably the highest rated.
That must be season 3 too.
And it's awesome. I would highly recommend watching it, but not as your first episode.
So like start like if that's a 9.5, start somewhere in like the low 8s.
Yeah.
And like
work your way up.
Yeah, work your way up. Yeah.
Just be a little bit prepared for it to be like unsettled.
There's also not many episodes. There's 3 episodes in the first season, 3 episodes in the second, and a 4th Christmas special, and then 6 episodes in
Christmas special.
So what is that? 13 episodes.
Okay. As long as it's not as unsettling as Unsolved Mysteries, because I'm never going to get that out of my head.
What a great theme song. The greatest TV theme song ever?
No.
What, are you going to give me Cheers?
No.
Fuck you
Cheers
guys.
is pretty good.
Cheers is great. Straight.
Why did you pick that one?
Because it's great.
It's got Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers is really
fucking good. Standing tall on the wings of my dreams.
I love where this is gone. This is
all right. Anyway,
okay. Let me. Sorry, I know.
The Gifted is the X-Men show that's going to be on the fall.
Gifted, and what network?
Fox proper.
It could work. Gotham worked. It could work.
There's a potential.
I won't hold my breath, but it could work.
The last few shows I've tried to watch on Fox, I haven't admittedly watched Gotham, but the last few have not been worth watching. So
I'll give it a shot.
So I'm going to say one of these, what I'm currently watching, because it pertains to later.
Okay.
I still watch Family Guy. I still watch American Dad. You've watched American Dad.
I watch a lot of American
Show's great.
Dad. Show's amazing.
It's really funny.
I just said I wasn't counting it as part of this since it's
No,
not.
it totally counts,
Okay.
bro.
I didn't know if we were going
does.
if we were going
Nope.
straight dramas.
Nope. So you've watched more than you thought.
That's about the
Roger continues to be great. Steve continues to sing.
I was just going to say, I really like American Dad, but the episodes I love are the ones that center around
He
Roger.
continues to be amazing.
It's for me. It's any episode that centers around Steve.
Steve's good too.
Steve.
Yeah, he's great.
He's
great.
different on Steve.
He's
so funny.
Yeah, he's just so ridiculous. And anytime Steve sings
he sang like the Trapped in the Closet episode from a few seasons back. Have you seen that
That's
one?
a good one. Yeah. I'm up to date.
Yeah, okay.
The hot tub episode. The hot tub episode's always the one like you gotta show everybody.
I like
as a
show.
first timer, you have to show everybody the hot
Maybe.
tub episode.
That one or Rapture's Delight are my go-tos.
Rapture's Delight's a little,
but it's weird.
It's too weird to show somebody on a first time
because it's not the premise of the show.
No.
Yeah, but it's so funny. Oh, that one's so funny.
It's good. Yeah.
He accidentally shoots the. Ah! That's not the Antichrist! There's an elementary school right next door! You murdered that little boy! I thought you said you know what I said. No!
I forgot I was watching a random Family Guy the other night, and
which had it's fallen off a little bit, but there were some really funny episodes this year.
I gave it up. It was not doing it.
I don't blame you.
This was a Christmas episode from a couple years ago, but this is, I think, by far my favorite Family Guy joke. They found Jesus, and he was just like living every day, and come to find out Jesus was a virgin. So it was like the episode was called "The 2,000-Year-Old Virgin," and they set him up on a speed dating thing, and so people are just like randomly talking to him, and this girl comes up to him, and she goes, "So you having a good Friday?" I couldn't stop laughing for the first time I saw that for a solid week. I went to, like, the next day I had a meeting with our chaplain at work, and I told her that joke because I couldn't help myself. I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard religion based. Anyway, go on.
Sorry, I got a bunch of stuff here. I am a poor wretched soul that has seen every episode of Prison Break, including the new season.
Oh no!
And Caleb, it is trash.
I figured.
Why are you still watching
trash? Because I've seen all of them.
Anyone out there that's listening to this, watch season 1 of Prison Break.
It's good.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Stop there.
It reminds me of Gotham in the way that it felt like it was on a premium network, and somehow they pulled it off. The language inside of the prison, they just clever language.
I guess I always just asked myself when I saw that, I was like, how are they ever going to do a season 2 of this show?
They did 5 of them.
Yeah.
So Prison Break was going to be the show I was going to request you to watch.
Oh no!
But it's not the show.
Okay,
you made it out just barely.
Got it.
But I want somebody else to see it that actually watched the show, because it's so.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna do a bad show, then I have to counter with a bad show.
No,
I don't want to do that.
Don't make people watch bad shows.
But it is.
If it's so bad it's good, that's another thing.
It's almost there.
Almost there? Oh, that's not good.
Quite, because it is remarkably unaware of how bad it is.
Okay.
It doesn't know.
Can I tell you the show that I've been watching that's so good it's bad, or so bad it's good.
Yes.
Blood Drive on Sci-Fi.
Is
I
it
know.
good?
I know that you aren't into this at all.
Have you seen the previews for that?
No, but anything on Sci-Fi, I mean, that's like, I mean, Sharknado is bad, it's good.
Yeah,
like,
that's Blood Drive. The concept is there's a cross-country race, Cannonball Run, whatever.
Okay.
But it's set in a post-apocalyptic world where there's no more water or gasoline, so the cars all run on human blood.
Sure. Sure.
So as they're racing, they have to occasionally stop and find
and throw somebody into
kill.
this engine that like just chops it up and blood goes everywhere.
It's really bad and hokey, but in all the right
It
ways.
is self-aware though.
Yes.
Like it knows what it's doing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a grindhouse.
Yes,
Flip,
exactly.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think each episode has like a specific grindhouse looking poster, which is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So the art and the style is actually kind of neat.
It matches what it's trying to do.
The episode 2 is
Alright.
called "Welcome to Pixie Swallow," which is a great name for an episode.
Yeah.
All right. Fair. What else you got there?
I still have a long list of stuff, and I'm sorry. I'm excited to watch the 3rd season of Bosch on Amazon. That's really the only Amazon show I think I watch. It's okay. I mean, it's average. It's about a detective, and for some reason I have a soft spot for like good procedural, and it's at least wise good.
Okay.
And there's a lot of bad of that. So I just like hard-boiled detective working on cases.
Okay.
And it's good though. So
Who's
like
in that?
I think it's pronounced Titus. It's Titus Welliver is the lead in that.
Well, he had to do something after Final Fantasy.
That's him.
All right.
His hair is in full
All right.
effect.
All right.
I can't. He was in Lost. He was in Sons of Anarchy.
Who was on Lost?
He was Jacob's brother. So he wasn't Jacob, but he was whatever Jacob's brother
so
was. You guys
Don't
would recognize him.
Okay.
But I like that show a lot. Okay, so that wraps up, except for one thing that I'm watching, which I'm going to talk to you about later.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to things that I have watched that I'm looking forward to coming back. Preacher comes back soon.
Yeah.
I really liked the first season of Preacher.
Love the way that season 1 ended, and I really want to know how are they going to make a season 2.
Well, so I guess my understanding is season 2 kicks off where the graphic novels start.
Okay.
So season 1 was their own ideas.
Oh, got it. So this is just they're on the road being badasses together.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is what the graphic novel is about.
Got it.
I love help me out here. That guy is in hell, which is his waking nightmare of him having to relive that every day. The cowboy.
I need to recap it.
So
It's
you
been
know
so
how they show the
long.
saloon murders over and over and
Yeah.
over?
Okay. Yep.
So he goes, and the day his family is killed, he's forced to relive over and
Right,
over and over,
yeah.
which then involve those murders later in the day.
Yeah.
And that's his personal hell.
Yes, and the 2 angels went down to hell
To recruit
him to kill Preacher.
One came back, right?
Yeah, the other one did not.
One didn't. One came back, and now he's hunting Preacher.
Yes.
Dude, that show's fucking.
So he's
great.
hunting Preacher,
It's so good.
who is also with a vampire.
Yeah.
And
Well, his
this,
best friend's a vampire.
and this girl that's like just overall badass.
Superhuman badass. Yeah, superhuman badass. But she's totally immortal, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
That
like
show kind of reminds me of True Blood,
Ooh.
but better. But the idea is like it's like
There's some supernatural there.
yeah, there's a lot of
but along
supernatural
with,
stuff
yeah,
going
just some-
on. There's some good and evil going on.
and just some all around corniness.
It is corny, but in a good kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that episode where the angels keep dying and coming back and keep dying and coming
Yeah.
back in that hotel room.
You
I
just
showed you
showed
guys.
me that. You're just like, I just got to show you this because this is ridiculous.
It's so
good.
great.
It's really
They
good.
keep piling on top of each other.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Game of Thrones comes back next month. That is what it is. Everybody watches Game of Thrones.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
it's good.
it
good
is
TV.
what it
It's
is.
solid.
Yeah, it's good TV. Westworld's not coming back forever, but I'm really looking forward to it.
That's another one. I don't know what they're going to do for season 2, but I'm
Who
excited
knows?
to see.
Hopefully it's Samurai World.
Yeah. We'll see.
That'd be awesome. Mr. Robot comes back when? October?
Like October, November. Wait, they pushed it back, so it's going to be a while.
That's another show that's somewhere in the conversation for me with Fargo and the Americans
Okay.
and Better Call. It's
That would be on my the top of my second tier.
Yeah.
Would be Mr.
Christian
Robot.
Slater's still in that show.
Yeah.
It's just so funny
he's
how,
not
like,
going anywhere. He's great in that show.
It's interesting how, like, the
that show.
marketing shifted. Like, when they first started that show, I remember it was like, oh, yeah, Christian Slater's going to be in this. And, like, they kept showing his face. And then it was like, after it premiered, it was like, yeah, Christian Slater's not... Like, they just showed Rami Malek. The whole rest of the time.
It's
like,
because
he's the main character.
Rami Malek has become a superstar because of that show.
Yeah.
2 shows on Showtime that I'm sad that I'm not watching, that I'm not current on, but I hope to catch up to eventually. It's just Fargo's too good, and Better Call Saul was too good not to watch. Homeland.
I would still like to catch up on it. It was one of those that, like, I've watched every season except this last one.
Me too.
I heard it was just okay.
I watched seasons 1 and 2, and I heard so many bad things about season 3, I stopped.
If
1
anything,
and 2 are great.
If
They're
anything,
great.
people hated on 2 a lot more for some reason.
Nah,
people
I hear a
hated
lot of
2.
3.
No, I think was it 2 is because everybody hated because they focused on the daughter. So
That's
damn
season
much.
3.
That's 3.
Mm-hmm. The bombing happens at the end of season 2,
Oh,
where Estes dies and
I
other
thought
characters
that was
die.
all
That's the
part
end
of-
of season 2.
oh.
Because season 2 he runs and he's going to get the vice president on. That's what season 2 is about.
I thought that was all in one. I don't know why. I put those all
Season
together.
1 ends where he's got the bomb vest inside of the panic room with the president.
God damn it, that was a good.
Show's great.
That show was real good. I mean, we're on what, season 6?
6.
Okay, yeah. All right, now I got I was off
I'm
on
sure
mine.
it's okay.
I'm sure it's
I'm
fine.
disappointed because the first 2 seasons were like some of the best TV I think I've ever seen.
Oh, Above and Beyond. Yeah, those
So
were
good.
I even thought 3 was good too. I thought 4 was good.
I thought 4 was good. I didn't like 3 because of the daughter. I really
I
struggled
didn't
with that
mind.
one.
I mean, it was what it was. They focused too much on her, but it was.
They
it's
took
fine.
a huge risk with season 3 in focusing on the characters in the aftermath of this terrible thing.
Yeah.
And they took a leap of faith, and it was cojones to write a story involving those characters and the fallout of this, and it just... Some people might tell you it worked. I don't think it did.
No.
What's your other Showtime show? Because it might be on my list.
Ray Donovan.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Ray Donovan is just okay. Continues to be very solid television. It does gratuitous violence and angry people with a Boston accent well.
Okay.
John Voight has won an Emmy for that show, and he's the way kind of like not to the Jimmy and Chuck of Better Call Saul, but when Liam Schreiber and John Voight are sharing scenery in that show, it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a couple of like TV heavyweights going at it, and it's okay. It's okay. I'll get to it eventually. I like that show. I've watched too much of it not to see it through, and it's always like it's never bad. It's just good.
Shows, well,
Good.
I mean, things like they peak and then it's like, all right, well, they told their big story arc and then it's like, all right, well, here's kind of our B story.
Yeah.
And it's still good. It's just not as good as what it was.
All right, shows I want to start.
Okay.
Twin Peaks.
That's what I was going to talk. I'll talk about Twin Peaks.
Okay,
Go on.
I want to talk about. I want to see The Leftovers. I haven't watched
I will
that.
also be talking about The
Talk
Leftovers.
about The Leftovers. I'd like to start Billions, even though I hear it's bad.
I've heard good.
Yeah. That is not on my list.
Billions is not. No.
I've heard it's good.
You're not a
but
Giamatti guy, huh?
Yeah.
Malin Ackerman's hot.
I've heard 2 people say it's good and nobody say, I mean, and then everybody else has been like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
That's a show.
That's a show.
It's a
I don't
thing.
know.
Giamatti plays probably one of my favorite villains ever in the movie Shoot 'Em Up.
I knew you were going to say Shoot 'Em
Wow.
Up as soon as you said villains. Oh, man. That
I
movie
love Shoot 'Em
is... Okay, now you have to watch Prison Break. you can't say that.
Don't
No.
sleep on Shoot 'Em Up. It's a great movie.
It's... Whoa. We're
save
talking
that.
about TV.
Let's save that for the movie podcast.
Yeah. Caleb, you going to talk about American Gods?
Yep. I'll talk about that.
I'd like to watch that eventually. You going to talk about Silicon Valley?
Yep.
I would like to watch Sneaky Pete, speaking of Amazon.
I watched 2 or 3 episodes of that, and I lost interest. It did nothing for me.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't get a read.
That's Giovanni Ribisi's show.
I'm
Yeah.
I maybe it purposely does this, but I couldn't get a read on the lead character. I couldn't tell if I was supposed to like him or not.
I don't know if you are.
So it was just kind of like all over the place for me. Like, what am I supposed to be watching? Who am I supposed to be appreciating here?
We talked about Legion, but I would like to. I think I might have to see that for
Give
myself.
it a shot. I mean,
Had 2 episodes you did?
I did 2 episodes and I was just bored.
Yeah.
I don't have time to
Be
do
bored.
Things. Yeah.
Time to be bored.
Every year you get 2 episodes with me. That's it. If you're a half-hour show, you really got to push it.
Thanks for sticking with me. It's the last thing on my list.
Oh my gosh.
I would like to check out Crashing on HBO at some point in time.
I watched the
Holmes'
first
show.
episode and I did not like it at all.
No.
What?
But
Pete Holmes has a show where he's a comedian whose wife cheats on him
yeah.
and then kicks him out. And so each individual episode he crashes with a different guest comic.
It's
So like
one of
Artie
those-
Lang,
Okay.
Sarah Silverman.
It's one of those comedies that has no funny parts.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Never mind. If I wanted to watch a Wes Anderson movie, I'd watch a Wes Anderson movie. Never
Fuck
mind.
Wes
then.
Anderson movies, by the way. Can I just say that so everybody
It's
can
fine.
hate me?
I don't.
Those
fine.
movies are terrible.
I can't do it, man.
Save it for the movie podcast.
No.
In the movie podcast. Because of this red hot Pepsi Fire, I need to take a break,
One more break.
and then we'll come back and take a look at Caleb's list. Is that cool?
That's perfectly fine. We did 3 breaks in this fucking podcast? Shit.
2?
Well, 3 breaks, I guess,
Oh,
like 3
okay.
sections. It's talk. Well, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like I'm sort of.
I like how our TV podcast is longer than our video game podcast.
It may not. Maybe. No, it won't be.
Well, it's the only one we've. And when is the next time we're gonna do one?
Yeah.
Next
Like-
week.
Next week.
Oh my god!
This was all just
This
last
just
week's
popped up.
stuff, right?
How'd you put this on my calendar?
That was just stuff you watched last week, right?
Yes,
That
yes,
was, okay.
all of it. That sorry, that took forever. But that's like everything that I've watched ever.
You said that and like a sinking feeling hit my stomach of like I was like, oh god, we got to do this again. Like
no.
oh god,
Nope.
Okay, no, we'll get back to the video games next week. If there's just some shit's got to come out. Anyway, Caleb, your list of stuff looks much smaller.
It's much smaller.
I see that.
Maybe I have things in 2 different places,
Okay.
so we'll see. But I want to ask you a question first.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Are you still watching WWE?
So my level of wrestling watching has turned from watching almost all of it every week, even including pay-per-views, Raw and SmackDown.
Wow.
To now, I fast forward through Raw while either falling asleep or while working, and finish the 3 hours of Raw with somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes.
Okay.
And SmackDown, I will usually just fall asleep to on Tuesday nights. So I have no idea usually what happens. I see the first opening segment and then maybe the next match, whatever that is after that, and then I'm falling asleep.
It's really interesting that we all fell off at different times at different levels.
And
You're the last hope. You're the last bastion of any wrestling.
yeah, I still just I'm like lightly paying attention on the periphery. At this point, I've even skipped a couple of Raws where I haven't even fast forwarded through them or anything else. I'll read like the quick synopsis the next day, and it's like, yeah, I didn't miss shit. So yeah, that's about it. SmackDown, if you're gonna watch anything at this point, it's SmackDown.
Wow, really?
Raw's really fucking bad.
Huh.
SmackDown at least has some interesting things with interesting characters left. If you're interested in watching Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins not do anything and it's a fucking mess. Raw's a disaster.
I'm going to try to transition this.
Okay.
What do you think about the women wrestlers?
Are we talking about the women's wrestlers on there, or are we talking about the gorgeous ladies of wrestling?
You got it.
I fucking love this show. I've watched 5 episodes so far. It's the greatest fucking thing I've seen in a long time.
I watched
What's
6
happening?
episodes.
What's
Glow.
happening right now?
It's on Netflix. It just,
Oh, that's what Glow stands for?
Glow is the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. It's
okay.
fucking
It's got
great.
Allison Brie is the lead, and
Okay.
I she's one of my favorites.
And
like,
she
I
looks
love
like
her.
shit in the show,
Yeah.
but it's because they made her up to look that way.
Did that, yeah.
And so what it is I've been real hyped to talk about this. So that was like this was
this your mystery show?
This was my mystery
Okay,
show
good,
that I was
good,
like,
good. You nailed it.
It just released on Friday, right?
Yeah.
And this is Sunday. So
How many episodes have you watched?
5.
Fuck you about time.
They're half hour.
Oh, okay.
I watched them with my mother, who was here the other day. And
I watched them with my mother. Thank you.
And it was either ditch her and play Persona, or like sit down and be like, okay, here, Mom, we're gonna sit down and watch this new show that came out that might be interesting. Yeah. Which was interesting because in the first 3 minutes, Alison Brie takes off her shirt, and that was awesome to watch with Mom.
She's completely naked.
She's completely naked.
Oh, like full
fully,
frontal?
yeah.
Yeah,
well, you
not-
don't really
it's like-
see a ton, but
like
yeah.
she stands like sideways and then turns around, so you see like side boob and some butt, and then you see
Sad boob.
hey, like that's sad boob. Anyway, so the premise of the show is Alison Brie is an actress who's looking for a gig. She ends up, someone tells her about this gig where all these people show up in this gym. There's about like 50 women or something there, and in the door walks Mark Maron.
Huh.
Who
Okay.
is the
He's
director?
really good in this.
Really good.
Wow, Marin gets to finally act, huh?
And he's good. Like, it's surprisingly good. And
Cool.
so he comes in and he's like, all right, here's the show we're doing. It's like, Hulk Hogan and all these guys, we're going to do it, but we're going to do the women's version of it. And then like 20 women walk out the door. And
Yeah.
and
It gets as it progresses. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because
Let's talk about
neither
premise, yeah.
neither of us have watched the complete series yet. But,
yeah.
10 episodes, 12, 13?
10 episodes,
10, I think,
and
yeah.
they're roughly half an hour to 40 minutes each.
Yeah.
Okay.
Netflix is weird like that. They'll just be like, no, this show can be 37 minutes. That's
This
fine.
was
Yeah, the
cool.
first episode's 37 minutes, and I think like the next episode's like 24. And then the episode after that's like 33.
FX was given the only show that I've seen get that kind of rope was that the end of Sons of Anarchy's run. I guess it was because the show was successful and Kurt Sutter's a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was allowed to do like hour and 45-minute episodes. Like
Justified had a little bit of that leeway
yeah,
too.
you're
They
right.
would go like hour 20.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that, but it's only after it's successful.
Yeah, it was like toward the next to last season and last season. But
Go ahead.
Did you watch Orange is the New Black at all? Did you ever watch any of that? Okay, because this
You have Logan, right?
which we'll talk about that later.
Glow has a very Orange is the New Black feel to it.
Yeah,
It's very similar in tone.
and the thing, especially with being a new show, you just took another drink of that Pepsi Fire. You guys have got a death wish. Anyway, God,
Working on it.
that cinnamon coming out of your asshole later, you're not gonna like it,
I didn't think about that part.
and out of your pee hole, it's gonna burn too.
It didn't happen yet.
It's just you're gonna
It's
walk in,
just
you're
the
gonna
gonorrhea.
pee, and you're gonna be like, oh, and then you're just gonna be like, why does it smell like Big Red in here?
I'm gonna wake up the family. Ah!
Anyway, so they the first couple episodes kind of focus on Alison Brie, and then there's one other girl who's kind of the other main character. And then there's
Do I know her?
No,
the actress.
no,
She's new.
I don't know anybody else in that show.
And introducing. Okay.
Yeah, it's just her and Mark Maron are the only ones that I knew of. Really, I don't even think
Okay.
I've really seen many of the other people in anything.
Okay.
The goth chick kind of looks familiar a little bit, but I don't know what I've seen.
I'm gonna pull up the cast real quick.
Yeah. So then, but yeah, so they each episode then kind of has a little bit of a backstory on each person.
Okay.
So you kind of get a little bit of backstory about, all right, here's this person, but you're also moving the story along. I don't know where. I mean, you're at episode 6. I'm at episode 5. They haven't even done the show yet.
That's what I'm going to say. That's the one thing I kind of wish. I wish it would move a little bit faster. Like
I'm okay with it right now.
I'm a little bit tired of them sucking at wrestling. Like I want them to get up to the point where it's more interesting because they're doing shows.
They're at least in episode 5 they were getting a
Yeah,
little bit better.
yeah.
But the point is the point of it is none of them know wrestling at
Right.
all. There's only one person who even knows what wrestling is, and that's because she's a child of a wrestler.
Yeah.
And she's got her brothers wrestle and everything else, and so yeah, I like where the show's going. I'm really interested in it. So I'm in. So I'm hoping it stays as good as it has. Is it amazing TV? No, but it's got just enough comedy and just enough good story to really keep it moving along.
Agreed.
And the short, the quick, 25, 40 minutes or whatever, they go by quick. And yeah.
Twin Peaks this season, I'm 3 episodes behind on it, but it's it's amazing. David Lynch is a genius. Like, you're looking at me like, how can this possibly be? And I'm like, you need to watch this. It's even though I get the feeling that he's putting weird stuff in a show that's never going to be explained, I still love it. Just because it's so different from everything else on TV.
It is.
There is nothing even close to it.
Did you need to see any of the previous Twin Peaks?
Yes, you absolutely need to see all of Twin Peaks in order to understand season 3. That's a tough ask, and I realize that, but...
When I was working from home is when I did that.
Especially
because
all
the Twin Peaks.
You also burnt through all MacGyver, so I just want to throw that out there for everybody.
I did. When it hit Netflix, I was like, all right, work day. It just was on a monitor.
Especially because the first half of season 2 of Twin Peaks is awful. It's really, really bad.
It is.
It's because Lynch took a hiatus or whatever.
Well, and then there was pressure for them to reveal, like ABC was putting pressure on them to reveal.
So they had to come up with like a new villain, and it didn't work, and
he didn't want to, and there was some weirdness there.
In order to understand what's going on, you still need to watch it. So it's a tough ask, but man, if there's just nothing else on TV like it, so I am really into it.
I think that might be what's next. Because I was thinking about this weekend. Oh, just to wrap the wrestling thing. On the way over here, I was thinking, I haven't watched wrestling in forever. I wonder if Logan's watching wrestling still. The same question you had. And I thought to myself, I kind of want to watch Lucha Underground.
Okay.
I don't know. I've sure
heard it's fallen off pretty far since season 1.
Bummer. Really? Okay. Well, I don't...
If you want to kind of scratch that at Wrestling Itch, watch Glow.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's because, well, in all reality, too, it's like, all right, what do you watch wrestling for? You watch it for a lot of the storyline and maybe some random, like, oh, hey, that was a pretty cool fucking move that guy did. You're not going to get any of the pretty cool fucking moves that guy did, but it's all story-based.
Yeah, and they like, stumble into story ideas, like, and it's just like, you see behind the scenes when they, like, actually develop a story for the match. So,
and
like,
keep in mind it's the 80s.
Yeah. So it's all like the very, very simple, like, this person's obviously a heel because they're a foreigner. You know.
I have a question. Kind of do they make it like, is there purposeful bad aged television footage in this?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then the off camera stuff is normal.
Exactly.
Like normal 4K.
There's not a
HD.
lot of actual, like,
footage.
There's not. No, they don't actually do like matches and stuff.
Okay.
We haven't even got to that. They've done like one dream match.
Yeah.
Like it was in somebody's head. Like he was like, oh, like watching people argue. He was like, oh, like this could be a match, and like he was like thinking it in his head, and like you got to see that. But yeah, that's in like HD or whatever. But like otherwise, it's like them watching like here's this square TV, and like here they're watching and like Hulk Hogan come to the ring and Gorgeous George and other people. It's like, okay, here's like. That's all they're showing.
Okay.
Yeah. What else on here? I'll save that. Have you seen anything about Downward Dog?
I saw the trailer for it.
Okay.
It looks like the dumbest fucking show I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's as a person who has a dog and loves his dog.
Yes.
I think you would actually.
Really
I
probably would. It. Yeah. I probably would.
So this dog on the show has a voice. And his lips move, that's the one thing that I'm like, you could not have his lips move and it would be fine.
So you want to do like what was that? Was that Homeward Bound where they didn't have any like CG lips, right? It was just their voices.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox, right?
Yeah, you're right on that.
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
But like this is like CG dog. Like it also is like super duper family friendly type thing.
Not.
He's
really.
The one who's watched.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I just saw like the previews for it, and it looked like the most garbage thing I've ever seen.
So it's really interesting because you see the perspective of the dog as he watches his owner's life progress, and it can be a little depressing in times. It can be also like really like joyful at times because it's a dog. You know, you're all over the place,
right?
But like just seeing. Because the dog thinks he thinks he has everything figured out. Like, he thinks that he's, like, the smartest entity in the entire world. And then seeing, like, but wait, why did my owner do this? If she loved me, then why, like, she takes him to work one day, and he's walking through, and he's like, I thought she was going to, like, you know, to do something important, and all she's doing is she's coming here and playing with all these other people all day. Why doesn't she stay at home and play with me all day? Why does she come here? Like, it's so, and then he, like, starts doubting himself and, like, doubts his owner. But then in the end, it always comes, well, not always, but it usually comes back to, like, okay, now I understand why this happens, and in the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I'm with her, that sort of thing. So it's hard to explain, but I would watch an episode or two. They're only like 20 minutes each.
Oh, really?
So does this have legs any farther than maybe 10 to 13 episodes?
I don't know. We'll see where they go. They're on like 5 right now.
What network provider?
ABC.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's why I was originally like, this looks fucking dumb.
I actually really like it. So I would recommend at least checking out a couple.
Okay.
I thought that was a fall show, so I didn't realize it was actually on right now.
I watched most of the first season of The Leftovers, and I think I'll continue with it, but I'm getting a little bit.
That first season was panned critically.
It's a little boring, and I understand people are saying like things start picking up in the next season, but at the same time,
that's a lot of it. That's a huge investment.
There's also a lot of supernatural stuff that goes on, and the sense that I get is they're never actually gonna go back and explain it, which is kind of frustrating.
That's enough.
Right. Like Twin Peaks is a different story because it's like the ride is so awesome that it doesn't matter if they go back to it. But with The Leftovers, like I need to know why this is happening.
Twin Peaks pitches it in a different way.
Yeah. And then Silicon Valley, which this season has, I think, kind of taken a turn downhill a little bit. They changed. I get it because it's Silicon Valley and things move quickly, but they're moving way too quickly. It seems like every episode their company is like acquired by somebody, and then they go bankrupt, and then they have to sell it, and then there's this problem, but then they get bought out, and there's a miracle that happens, and now they're okay. All right, next episode. Oh, something horrible happened, and they have to be bought out, and then there's another company that comes in. It's like, how do you keep track of all this? And it just seems like it's moving way too fast this season. But there's one more thing I want to talk about, one more show. But before that, you brought up your list of things that you want to watch, so I'll do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
If I can
find a wish list going there? Or?
Yeah. I've been using this app. Let me get the name of it. It's called TV Time. It's actually really cool.
Oh, okay.
So on your recommendation, 2 shows. The Americans, which I already talked about, and then The Shield. I still want to go back to that at some point. I watched like 2 episodes, but I want to go back to it.
It's, you know how I feel about it. I think it's a seminal TV show, and is why we have such great cable TV now.
Yeah.
It was like the first FX much watch thing, like made that network what it was.
Yeah. Legion is on my list. We already talked about that. 13 Reasons Why.
I forgot about that. I really want to watch that.
Yeah, I want to watch it too.
I hear it's hard.
Depressing.
Yeah, I hear it's hard. But I don't know. Like I'm drawn to it for some reason.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to, though, click play for whatever reason. Like I've always chosen something else.
I've always chosen something a little more lighthearted.
Yeah, actually, after a long day, it can be tough
to
choose that.
Right, like...
Yeah. Especially if like you're dealing with real shit, like, oh, my kid's sick, or like you just don't. Those are the days you don't dive into something like that because you've already had a hard enough day.
Yeah, and then The Handmaid's Tale, which apparently has not gotten a bad review yet.
Dude, that actually reminds me. I watched on Hulu. I forgot to put this down. Aaron Paul's show.
The Path. Okay, yeah,
it's very average.
It looked kind of like that, and Hulu has been known for some middle of the road shows.
It's
so
just
this
that.
is the first one I think that's been.
I wanted to see what he was going to do after Breaking Bad. It's okay.
I forgot to mention Ash vs. Evil Dead. Have you watched any of that? Okay, I watched the first episode of that, and I'm totally in. It's another one of those like way over the top, like super gory.
Sci-fi as well?
No, that's on what is that on?
Spike?
I think it's on Stars actually.
Stars.
Wow.
Or maybe...
I have no idea.
You said you were going to talk about American Gods.
I'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to that.
Oh no!
He's realizing what this means. And then last thing that I've been kind of watching, iZombie. It's on the CW. Did you ever watch Veronica Mars?
No, my wife
Veronica
did.
Mars?
Yeah, I know of it.
Veronica Mars is one of my favorite TV shows ever. I don't care if that makes me sound stupid. I love that TV show.
Okay.
And iZombie is Rob Thomas. He's the guy behind it. It's his new show. So I've been kind of watching.
From Matchbox 20?
Yes.
Rob Thomas?
Different Rob Thomas.
Yes.
Okay.
The one that slept with Tom Cruise. Yes, that one.
Right.
But now we get to the part of the show where I've been really excited about. Unless you have anything else.
I had a list of things.
Sure. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
I actually have to ask you some questions too, Logan.
Okay. So my list isn't as, exciting because these are just other things that weren't mentioned, but I still watch South Park all the time.
Do you?
I'm like, that's actually what I fall asleep to now. I'm
Okay.
just going through like almost all the South Parks again.
I've watched them. I've kind of fallen out of love with that show.
The last season really sucked because it got a little too political, but the season before that, so it would have been the 2015 season.
Is that the Stick of Truth season?
No, that was PC Principal season. PC Principal is a really good season. It was the first one that it had a story arc the entire season.
Okay.
So they brought in a principal who was all about political correctness, and they just went to town with it, and it was really good. And there was a whole thing about Whole Foods that they wanted to bring into town, and so they tore down Kenny's house to build Soto Sopa, which was like this thriving new district, so they could build this. But then the old part of town,
it's like southern downtown South Park.
Yeah.
Soto Sopa.
Yeah, and they had all these commercials for it and everything else randomly during the episode. But then the guy all the people in the old downtown that used to be thriving, the Chinese guy, he renamed it Shitty Pa Town.
City part. City. It's supposed to be the city part of town.
City's part of town.
But the way he says it is
Shitty Pa Town. And it was real good. That season's one of the best seasons of all time.
Okay.
And then there are also, but the reason that I say that I've kind of fallen off is because there are some things in that season that I don't necessarily agree with. I don't want to get into politics or viewpoints or anything.
The last
but
season?
It's the first time that I remember seeing of that season.
Oh, that season.
Where it's the first time I remember watching South Park and thinking to myself, I don't agree with the point they're making here. And that's why I kind of fell off of it a little bit.
They always try to make fun of everything, usually. And some, at least, this past year, with the politics stuff, they chose a side.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I mean, so the political correctness stuff, they kind of took different stands on that, but it was... I feel like they made fun of everybody, though. But maybe there was something that I missed in there. I felt like they ripped on everybody in the political correctness episode, that whole thing. But anyway, other stuff I'm watching. Jim Jeffries has a new show on Comedy Central. It's exactly like The Daily Show, but it's a weekly show.
Wait.
I don't know who this is.
Jim Jeffries is an Australian comedian who Jason and I have always thought was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, man, he's freaking great. He's raunchy, and he'll offend you. He'll offend anybody. So, but
he's got his stance on things.
But I think right. He's consistent.
He's consistent. But I think he's hilarious, even if you don't agree with his politics on everything.
Right.
But yeah, so he's got a Daily Show style show.
Is it him?
It's just him sitting at a desk.
Get out of here! When did this happen?
3 weeks ago.
What?
It's on Tuesdays. But it's on View, and it's on PlayStation View, and they dumped Comedy Central.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, if he's on View. So I'll give you some sort of login or something so you can get it on their network thing. Just so you know, he has a weatherman. His weatherman is Brad Pitt.
No way.
Yes.
That's a great bit. That's great.
And every time, all he talks about is how global warming is he's like, it's hot as fuck. We're all going to die.
Really?
That's all it is. And that's just how they...
I'm watching this tonight. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What else is it? He
had a show on FX called Legit.
Legit was really good. if you can, see if you can find that somewhere.
Okay.
It's like a season. It's 2 seasons.
It's not alcohol. Is Alcohol Holocaust the special where he talks about taking his disabled friend to a brothel to get laid before he dies?
It might be.
There's a bit where he takes it's Sirwazi. It's a true story from his.
It's a true story,
from
and,
his,
they recreated it in legit.
So he's got a friend who's slowly deteriorating, and he wants to take him to get laid before he dies. He takes him to the place called 4 Floors of Horrors, and it is maybe like the funniest half hour of stand-up I've ever seen.
I think he's got a lot of stuff on Netflix.
Okay.
Look up his older stuff.
I'm
I don't
just
know
not
a
sure
lot of
what
his newer
special
stuff. I don't
it
know
is.
exactly. There's 2, probably his first 2, if you can find those, are really good. We went and saw him live in Chicago one time. It was great.
Yep. Very funny. Raunchy, but funny.
Yeah. I'm not watching every single episode because my wife watches it like in binge spots. Is Orange is the New Black.
It's just called The Jim Jeffries Show. Sorry to finish up.
Yes, it is just the Jim Jeffries Show on
Okay,
Comedy
cool.
Central.
Yeah, I've watched the first episodes of Orange is the New Black. I like it, but there are some episodes that kind of drag.
There are some that drag. We're midway through season 4. Season 5 just came out a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Okay. So we're just kind of getting caught up on it.
They're already in season.
At the same time, I will say that it's a show that I come in, I watch a half hour of it or so. I go take a shower, I go do something else, and like, hey, what happened? This, okay. Like but it's fine. Like, it's completely fine. I like how I'm watching that show.
Okay.
Because my wife watches it all the time, and I just kind of catch little bits and pieces of it. Another show of that same ilk that that I'm catching different pieces of that just finished because it's part of the traditional fall spring season. Designated Survivor.
My sister watches that, and she thinks it's really good.
I have that on. It's on my DVR.
I gave it absolutely 0 credit of being anything worthwhile to start with, and then she started watching.
You and Andrea watched that. That's got Andrea written all over.
It has Andrea written all over.
She loves the network TV show.
And it's, you know what? And
and Madam Secretary.
No, there's no Madam Secretary in our house. There's no CBS drama in our house. That network doesn't exist unless the Steelers are playing on Sunday.
That's interesting that we've talked about so many shows and not a single thing on CBS.
Oh, they're all online. There you go. Okay. So Designated Survivor. Do you guys know what the premise is of that?
Yeah.
So, like, the 4th guy in line is Kiefer Sutherland.
He's like the 12th guy in line.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's like the director of the Interior, Secretary of the Interior, and
Design.
No, like, I don't even like the Interior is like.
Can you imagine Kiefer? This fucking couch needs to go over here.
These curtains don't match.
Yeah.
I think the Interior is like the park system. Like the national park system and like that kind of stuff. So
blankets don't go there, Logan.
Pretty low
You
level
don't know what
shit.
you're talking about.
So anyway, it's like they do the State of the Union.
Oh, okay.
And everybody's at the Capitol. And except for this one guy who they send somewhere else to just in case something happens.
He was sick that day.
He was the designated survivor.
He's the designated survivor. And
yes.
It wasn't he was sick that day. I guess this is an actual thing. Okay. And a bomb went off and killed everybody in the in the Congress.
Actually crossed over with Homeland.
Yeah, it basically was like so.
That's the bombing.
So president,
So
vice president, every senator, every representative, all dead.
They wrapped that back around into Homeland. I'm in.
There was one congressman or congresswoman, I think she was a senator, who was not there for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then one other person randomly ended up surviving, and like a representative. And then they basically had to start. He was the president. They had to swear him in. So Kiefer Sutherland's automatically the president. And at the same time, they are now trying to rebuild the country. Like, how do you run all these elections? And then they're also trying to figure out who did it. Like, who did this bombing thing? And then also the crazy thing that ends up coming out that I don't know if you're going to end up watching this or not. Should I?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's like 3 or 4 episodes in. Come to find out, the president was on his way to file papers to fire Kiefer Sutherland from his position.
Excellent.
That's pretty good, actually.
Excellent.
Yes.
Love it.
So there's all this controversy about everything. So, yeah.
So he's a really tall FBI director. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it's not a bad show. It's got all the political nonsense in it. Then there's like this random rogue Asian FBI agent chick who she's like, I can't remember what her name is, like her real name. Like there's a few of those like.
It's an actress?
Yeah, it's an actress, and I forget her name. It's driving me nuts. I've seen her in a lot of things.
Look it up real quick, and I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
Caleb, have you ever watched House of Cards?
I watched one episode, and it was too much politics. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that show is that maybe that I can't remember the first episode. So if it was the first episode, I'm assuming.
I couldn't. In one episode, I lost track of which character was which.
That
and immediately I was like, "This is not for me."
That show ultimately becomes not about politics at all, and about murder.
Okay.
Murder.
Cool.
So it may have masked itself in that first season, trying to serve too many, or not even the first season, that first episode. It may be trying to serve too many masters.
Yeah, it was like they bring up a character and be like, "This is the House Majority Whip Leader," or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't care.
I don't know what the hell a whip is.
Okay, all right.
Maggie Q would be the actress who Mag Q. She's been in some other shit.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's a bunch of random people in that. Cal Penn is in it.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's the press secretary. And all these people just like got randomly thrown into these jobs. Like, so it's all these random people who are like fighting to be chief of staff, but like are actually sleeping with somebody else. But yeah, there's like all this weird Maggie Hughes, like this FBI agent who's doing all this other weird stuff. So there's all this, people are getting shot left and right for different random things. There's this kind of shadowy guy who seems to be the one who was behind it all. Like, yeah, it's interesting, but at the same time, am I glued to it for every episode? No. Do I?
You just kind of come in and out.
I come in and out, and that's how I like to do that show.
I will say, I forgot to mention one show, and it's going to sound stupid that I like it and not House of Cards.
Here it comes.
But I love Veep. Veep is
those are two different
incredible.
shows. Veep is a comedy.
It doesn't matter what title these people have or what they're doing because this show is so ludicrous and everyone's a horrible human being that it just doesn't matter who you are.
I thought you were going to give me Andrew Tribeca there.
Oh yeah,
but
why didn't we talk about Angie Tribeca?
I don't know, Caleb. Why didn't we?
Oh man,
you like
Angie Tribeca is amazing, and Hoffman is the best character on TV.
There you go. Is Hoffman the dog?
Yes.
It's pretty good shtick. It's pretty good. Every time he's looking at dog porn or like he's having scotch in a bathtub or like it's always fun. He's driving a car. Makes me laugh.
And then the other show I'm going through right now, it's an old show, but it's the show I feel like I'm spending the most time with at least right now. I'm watching Parks and Rec.
Oh, cool.
One of my favorites of all time.
I've not seen it.
I've never seen it, and I feel like everybody's like, how have you never seen an episode of Parks and Rec? I'm like, because I think Aziz Ansari is not funny.
Where are you in Parks and Rec?
I am...
Are you past season 1?
I am midway. I'm on like season 2 episode like 15-ish.
Good, because season 1's a little rough. With the stuff there's a character, Mark Brandanowitz, who does not belong on that show.
Is he not on that show later?
Right.
Because I feel like, he was like a huge part of season 1, and then
they
all
realized
sudden,
that it just didn't work, and they cut him.
Season 2, it's been like Mark is barely there, and then Chris Pratt's characters all of a sudden
you watch A Star Be Born.
Yeah, because when you watch the first season, it's like the first few episodes, it's like he's not even listed as a character.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it was
they pivot his character quite a bit too.
And then it was like by episode 5, it's like and introducing Chris Pratt, and then by episode 8, it's like and then he's just got his own line in the credits now.
That show, more than any other show I think I've ever watched, you can see in the process of them focus testing it as the show is going on. This is working. We need to concentrate on this.
Yeah.
This is not working. Cut it from the show.
Yeah. Ron Swanson, barely in the first season. He's really not even a character.
What's the name of that actor? What's that actor's name?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
He's fantastic in the second season of Fargo.
Yes. Yeah.
He's great. He plays a war vet who is drunk all the time and is the town lawyer for everybody.
Yeah.
He's great.
This also kind of seems like how he plays in Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I'm sure it lends to that.
Has Rob Lowe shown up yet?
No.
Okay. That's when the show starts getting really good, is when him and, I don't know the name of the actor, the guy that plays, his name is Ben on the show, but I don't know the name of the actor.
Rob Lowe, the new Colonel, right? The new KFC Colonel?
When those two show up, I'm going to look up on
There's always a new KFC
Have you
Colonel
used the
every
Zinger
week.
sandwich commercial? We will take this sandwich to space. Will it be hard? We covered that. the new Zinger sandwich. Yeah, so
Adam
Gaffigan.
Oh, Adam Scott.
Yeah.
So he's not on the show yet for me.
Yeah, that's when it gets really good, is when Rob Lowe and Adam Scott show
Adam
up.
Scott show up, yeah.
You know Adam Scott.
Oh,
Yeah, I know who
sure.
Adam Scott is. Yeah, I guess, yeah, it was like, because, yeah, right now I got a little too much Aziz Ansari. I just don't
He kind of
think
takes a little bit of a back roll.
Do
There,
you watch Master of None?
No, I don't like it. I don't know why, I just don't like it.
People like it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's a section of the world who likes short people who yell a lot. And that's Kevin Hart and Aziz Ansari for me, and I don't like short people who yell a lot to make
Speaking of which, I enjoy John Oliver's show. I watch it every week. I guess people that yell a lot.
I like John Oliver a lot too. Yeah, I usually just catch like the little like segment that he does of like, here's where I'm just gonna like hate on this thing for
20 minutes, right?
Yeah, like whatever it is. But yeah, there's something about Kevin Hart and Aziz Ansari that I
think
just can't stand.
Probably my favorite line from all TV probably comes from Parks and Rec. And that's when the main character is not feeling well, and Andy, he's sitting at a desk, and he says, "Oh, let me Google your symptoms. What's going on?" She's like, sore throat, coughing, blah blah blah. He goes, "Okay, it says here you might have internet connectivity problems."
Okay, all right.
Yeah, as of right now, Andy is a shoe shiner. For me,
Okay.
he spends most of the first part of the second season living in a hole, like a hole in the ground in a tent.
Yeah,
Like that's
he starts out as being like this arrogant jerk that like you're supposed to hate. Like
he's
but
a
then
band.
they
yeah.
realize that doesn't really work for him, so they
okay.
pivot to being like he's just a
lovable
complete
loser kind of
dumbass,
guy. Yeah.
type of thing.
NBC could fuck up toast, but they've managed to have 30 Rock,
Dirty
The
Rock.
Office, and Parks and Rec.
Okay.
I actually went. Okay, so there's something I went back. I was sick a few months back. I blew through 4 seasons of 30 Rock, like no other.
Show's funny.
You forget how many just little random one-liners and stuff like stuff that Tracy Morgan just randomly says in that show is just a
Dr. Spaceman!
yes.
They are trying to recreate that. So that Thursday night block used to be The Office, Parks and Rec, My Name is Earl, and 30 Rock.
Yeah.
And that was probably the best 2 hours of comedy you could ask for.
Yeah. For
Now-
sitcoms, anyway.
Well,
So now,
unless you went back to 1997 and it was Seinfeld, Friends. I can't remember what else. They
yeah,
had on.
what else would be in that block?
But it was always like must see. That was what they called it, must see
Yeah.
TV, and it's always been
Frasier, I
their
think, was
Thursday.
in that,
Yeah,
yeah.
Frasier was in that. Block.
I don't know the full
Cheers
show.
was gone by then, right?
Yeah,
You're
but-
way gone.
Oh, Cheers ended in like 91.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So what they have now is they have a show called Trial and Error, which is actually
John Lithgow's show.
Yeah, John Lithgow, and it's actually pretty funny.
I'm willing to give that a
Creator?
shot.
And,
No, in it.
Oh, he's in it.
yeah, he's
Yes.
in it. And it has a very Parks and Rec tone to it, like very Parks and Rec tone. They have a show called The Good Place, which is Kristen Bell, and it's actually really good too.
Okay.
But it's about Kristen Bell, like she was a horrible person.
Is Ted Danson in that?
Yeah, he is. He's good in that show.
Okay.
But
I was making sure I knew what the place was.
He's in Fargo season 2.
Yeah, he is.
He's great in that,
I
too.
love Ted Danson.
Yeah.
We're speaking of Cheers, I guess, in general.
Yeah.
So she dies and goes to the good place but was there accidentally because she was a horrible person. They got names swapped. So she ends up in heaven.
She's in heaven on a clerical error.
Yeah, exactly. So she's trying to redeem her life based on her past mistakes. My name is Earl.
Yeah, sure.
They have a show called Great News, which is it's decent. It's pretty good. It's about a group of people that are running a news show. So they're running a show in New York City, and it has a female lead. 30 Rock.
Oh, sure.
They're basically
And
Okay.
probably their best comedy right now is Superstore, which is about.
Is that good?
It's really
I hear
good.
it's good. Yeah.
Which is a group of people like working together in a workplace,
Like
and there's a
Walmart.
will they won't they relationship going. The Office.
Yeah.
They're really trying to recreate that.
Okay, there it is.
Yep. Sorry, I
Oh.
digress.
Yeah, and all these have kind of been on like they've had like didn't they have like short like 2-3 episode runs or something like didn't like because like Trial and
They've
Error
been
only had a few
experimenting.
episodes.
Yeah, they've been experimenting with like Trial and Error they had like 3 shows in 1 week. Like Great News did 2 episodes back to back throughout its run. Like they've been experimenting with like how they actually.
Yeah, I'm looking
format
at
their
Great
shows.
News has had 10 episodes so far. I think The Good Place had a whole season, I think.
Oh, the ending of that season is crazy. It like there's a twist at the end of that season. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but it's really crazy.
It had 21 episodes. Yeah, so it had a legit full season. Oh, it has no, sorry. It only had 13 episodes. Sorry. I'm willing to give some random comedies a shot. I feel like that's something that's always it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to do a sitcom these days.
You can't have anything with a laugh track. If there's a laugh track, it's immediately just out.
That's where you live on CBS with The Big Bang Theory.
Well, critical success and commercial success. Like, what I really have brought you guys here to talk about is how much money does Mark Harmon make a week? Because
Is that show still on?
I'm sure it is. Are people still 85 years old and in nursing homes?
Oh my gosh, Mark Harmon.
Dude, I think he makes like $3 million a
Probably.
week or something crazy with that show. I mean, that one dude left the show. Like the second character, and it's still
NCIS. He has been his name. Oh my god, is his name seriously Leroy Jethro?
yeah, LJ Gibbs. Yeah, I watched one day. I was hungover, and I watched a bunch of them on USA. I mean, I've watched worse shows.
So he has played that character from 2003.
Wow.
And you know what? And all he has done since then, he did
collect cash.
So he hasn't done like he did some random movie called Certain Prey in 2011. He was the voice of Superman in a random Justice League movie in 2010.
Huh.
He was in a movie called Weather Girl in 2009. And that was it. Otherwise, all he has done is he was on NCIS New Orleans for an episode. He was on NCIS
Good to see they're still doing spinoffs.
And he also played himself. No, he actually played Leroy Jethro Gibbs on an episode of Family Guy. So they must have.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. It was in 2012. That's all it says.
Weird.
He wasn't even Mark Harmon as Mark Harmon. It was like
there was that episode where he holds up the picture of Mark Harmon. Do you remember that Family
No.
Guy? You know what, Lois? Mac Hammond. And it's literally like a JPEG of Mark Harmon running around on the screen in a picture frame.
I don't remember that.
I just remember the way Seth MacFarlane says
Mac Hammond.
Yeah. All right, Caleb.
Good lord.
Is that
Is
the
that
end
it?
of-
Is that it?
We got to wrap this up at some point.
We'll do like 2 a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, every week. Anyway, next thing on the agenda.
We've called it to
We'll edit
order.
that out.
We've called it to order. All right. So
Jason has issued a challenge to me in which we trade seasons of a TV show, which we must watch. Well, we didn't put a time frame on this, did we?
no.
60
No.
days?
Before our next podcast about TV.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, so you got a year.
Yeah.
Or no,
All right. Yeah. Several months.
Yeah.
So I ask you to watch a season of a TV show,
hmm
and you in return have to ask me to watch a season of a TV show, and we must agree to follow through.
Yes.
This was originally motivated by Prison Break
Okay. All right.
because it was so bad, and you're the only other person I think I know that has watched all of them.
Oh man, season
And
4 was painful, but I
It's
did watch
terrible,
it. I
and
watched
it's
it.
terrible, and it's really continues to be a farce. It's awful.
Okay. All right.
But I instead need you to watch something good
Okay. Good. I'm glad.
because I don't know anyone else that watches this show, and I need a buddy. I need a buddy because I think it's fucking awesome. I need you to watch Into the Badlands.
Into the Badlands. Okay, that's not where I expected you to go with that.
It is on AMC.
Okay.
It is. I think it's based on a graphic novel. I'm pretty sure. It's about a world in which there are no firearms allowed. There are, whatever happens, some sort of apocalypse or whatever, there are 5 barons. And these barons...
You've talked about this before, yeah.
These barons are basically presidents or dictators of their territory, except there's one baron that has control over mostly everything. And so he's always under attack. And what he has at his side is a master assassin named Sonny. And that's who the show is about.
Okay.
He's a incredible martial artist, and the show's martial art scenes are like
fireworks going on.
Fireworks.
They are fireworks. It's not like anything you've seen on TV. It is the kind of stuff that is reserved for big budget movies, and it gives you 2 or 3 incredible fight scenes a week.
Okay.
That are ruthless and don't involve any gunplay. Logan, when you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Equilibrium.
You said gunplay, and I was like, gun kata?
But it's not. But it's hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
And so everyone who has an army, they're all hand-to-hand combat trained. And so this is the cool. Sonny leads a league of assassins that guard the lead baron, and they're called Clippers. Like that's the clip wing, the Clippers. And so the Clippers' job throughout the first season is to protect this baron. Meanwhile, there's a young boy that has majestic power that whoever owns this boy will be the main baron because this boy is so powerful. He's a weapon. And Sonny's the only one that knows he's a weapon. And it's mostly about Sonny protecting this boy and being in conflict with this baron. Because this baron's a bad fucking guy. But he also enjoys living living in, I can't remember what the sections are called, but the Badlands are everything outside of these areas that the barons rule. And so he enjoys being in there. His family's in there. So he's trying to protect his family. He's protecting his baron because it's his duty, but his baron's a bad guy. And he's trying to hide this weapon from him, which is a teenage boy. And the combat in this show is...
Okay.
It's great.
You're letting me off easy, too, because there's only 6 episodes.
6 episodes in the first season.
So I will repay the favor with another not quite equally as short. But short. 8 episodes.
All right.
And that is American Gods.
All right. Okay. Thank God it's not the Lifetime show.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the Lifetime show. I don't know what it is.
There's a show on Lifetime that I really like called Unreal, which is it's awesome, but in a way that I understand that I might be the only person that likes it.
I thought I was destined for Unreal.
How did you discover a show on Lifetime?
The internet.
I go through like the top rated stuff constantly and see what's been really well reviewed.
I think I just would have, even if it got like a 9.8, I think I would have been like,
yeah,
Lifetime.
But
Television for idiots.
Television for idiots, exactly.
I will say, so the first like 10-15 minutes of American Gods, Logan, you should watch the first like 10 or 15 minutes of it. Just that opening scene. After that, just forget it.
I don't even know the premise of American Gods.
The less you know about it, probably the better going in, because it's a little bit like vague, like to what's going on, and you really have to fill in the gaps yourself.
I even have a subscription to Stars for some strange reason.
I used it one time to watch Black Sails.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I get Stars, I guess. Like it was kind
of the last time I used it, but I used it.
Like there's nothing. All right, yeah, I guess, yeah, sure.
But there are
that's how I watched this.
The visual style of this show is unlike anything else.
Okay,
so it can be really pretty to watch.
Okay, cool.
If nothing else, but I really like the plot and I really like where it's going. I've had to go to the subreddit to figure out what's going on in this show, but
oh no, he just put his head down. Oh no,
yeah, because it's based on a novel, so it's they purposely leave things a little bit vague. I think for the people that have read the novel, so that they can be like, oh, that's what that means.
Season 1 hasn't wrapped.
It has.
It has.
Yeah.
10 episodes?
8 episodes.
8?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
You could do it.
I'll check in tomorrow.
Full 60 minutes.
It'll be fine. I just won't sleep tonight. It'll be fine. Full 60 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But still.
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you about American Gods, and I'm excited to know someone that has watched Into the Badlands.
It's the same thing for me. This is the same thing I'm motivated. But we have the same motivation in that I know nobody that watches this. I just want to talk to somebody about this show.
Yep. How's that Pepsi?
I'm so thirsty, but I just can't bring myself to drink this god-awful thing.
And that's the podcast.
My tongue
brought to you by Pepsi. What's it called? Pepsi Fire.
It's fucking garbage.
Thanks for doing this, guys.
Yeah.
It was fun.
See if we do this. Yeah.
See do another one and then, like, I don't know, like, we can't do in December because then we're doing Game of the Year stuff, but...
the next time there's
something worth talking about, I guess, and there's a dead period. Cause
how about when we reconvene when we fulfill the challenge?
And it won't be...
Yeah,
it won't be 2.5 hours long.
No.
How about that? And maybe we'll have at least gone through a couple more shows. Maybe I'll bring myself to watch something interesting to catch up with you guys.
We've given you some recommendations.
I'm the guy who still hasn't even watched Breaking Bad yet.
Ooh.
I've watched 4 episodes of Breaking Bad, and I just haven't had time.
Let's just end the podcast, and then you can go home and just watch as many as you can until you pass out.
It's already late for me. I'll probably turn on the TV and pass out. I might even fall asleep in the shower.
Nice.
Unless I take this Pepsi Fire with me, and then I'm gonna...
There you go. Pepsi.
Woo!
Can you imagine? Does JR pimp this?
Oh,
he should.
Can you imagine? Pepsi Fire! Can you imagine?
Kane walks out. Oh my God, he's drinking a Pepsi Fire and Brimstone!
Thank you to anyone who has sat through 2.5 hours of this.
I guarantee you nobody sat through 2.5 hours of this. If you did, at least give us a like or something relevant, because we don't get shit.
Or just comment and say, I don't understand why I just spent 2.5 hours doing this. That's fine too. Just let us know you're out there.
Please.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.